You are listening to Apex One Radio. Stay with us for the best bet in the new wave of communication. Apex One Radio. Get informed, enjoy, and learn.
Okay. If you don't make efforts to acquire knowledge, then you would have not expect, or you won't expect to have it. And if you do not put the knowledge you have to use, you cannot expect to gain anything from it. Okay, listen to this. If you do not make efforts to acquire knowledge, then you would not expect to have it. And if you do not put the knowledge you have to use, you cannot expect to gain anything from it. Then, avoid copying someone else. Just because someone has been successful in what they do does not mean that you should emulate them. Now, listen to this carefully. Avoid copying someone else. Just because someone has succeeded in what they do should not be what will make you do the same thing and expect to be successful. Okay, take it again. Avoid copying someone else. Just because someone has been successful in what they do should not be what will make you want to be or do the same thing and expect to be successful. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to African Fiesta number 35, coming to you from Apex One Radio. Okay, good afternoon, Africa. Good afternoon, Europe. Good evening, Asia. Good morning, America. Welcome to African Fiesta number 36, coming to you from Apex One Radio. African Fiesta is a radio way of celebrating Africa's endowment in every aspect of the continent's socio-economic and political life. So, how much of Africa do you know in terms of geography, history, politics, economics, tourism, culture, sports, cuisine, you name them? African Fiesta brings African values on the platform and presents them to the rest of the world. African Fiesta presents African values to the rest of the world. And in this 36th episode of the show, blessed is the hand that giveth than the one that taketh. To give is divine, and when movie actors opt to share their resources with the less privileged or disadvantaged, a smile definitely sticks on somebody's face. That much needed smile is what Sundrop Initiative is poised to provide in the course of its humanitarian and social mission. No sooner had the Boya-based non-governmental organization seen the light of day than activities geared towards attaining its goals have kicked off. One of such activities is the charity dinner, built for Boya this Saturday, February the 27th, coming on the heels of Sundrop Initiative's twin visit to the two FACO-based orphanages. The charity dinner hopes to attract over 250 people from all walks of life to raise funds to support the initiative. Elynn Fesse is the founder of the NGO. She joins us from Boya on African Fiesta today to throw more light on Saturday's event. Fesse, who doubles as a movie actress, also explains the role of the film industry in such a social venture. She is one of our special guests in this edition of African Fiesta, just on Apex One Radio. Now, dust may take longer than expected to settle on the just-ended maiden edition of the New Breed Africa Celebrity Awards that took place in Bamenda, Cameroon over the weekend. As organizers start evaluating the success of that event, ideas are already being nursed as regards the next edition. That next edition absolutely has to come, thanks to the positive reaction from the public of Bamenda to the first edition. One of the major aspects of MBACA1 was the live coverage provided by Apex One Radio. In this edition of African Fiesta, we come back to some of the highlights of Valerie Dulafe's commentaries from the Blue Pearl Hotel Plaza in Bamenda last Saturday. Don't go away. And so, the next state representative of the 25th District of Ohio may be young and dynamic Mayo Makinde if he emerges successful in the upcoming local elections. The postulant has been on a campaign train canvassing for votes, yet putting his manifesto across. Can his access to government, better jobs, and commitment to community slogan do the trick? What motivated Makinde's decision to run for this top job? Just what does he intend to introduce as reforms in his constituency? The candidate explains in this edition of the show. He is our studio guest right here in Apex One Radio. And of course, Makinde will be speaking live on African Fiesta this day. And so, we shall also have Lizzie Roberts, Cameroonian actress based in Boya, who shall be telling us about her movie career. Then, when we go to Dallas, Texas, it will be the turn of Tirajai, a young Cameroonian musician, who will also be explaining how his music career has been going on. And if everything goes as planned, we shall have our man in Douala, Cameroon, Tabifo Kings. And of course, we shall definitely have Valerie Dulafe live from Yaoundé. Valerie will be giving us a prelude to the 2016 Mount Cameroon Race of Hope that takes place in Boya this weekend. Just how has this race evolved since its inception? And of course, who have been the heroes and the heroines of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope? Valerie Dulafe in his paper will be telling us all of that. And lots and lots of other exciting items will be yours in this 36th episode of African Fiesta, coming to you from Apex One Radio this day, February the 24th, 2016. And so, The deco having been planted, it's time for us to say thank you, God, because it is thanks to Him that we are able to put up this great radio show every Wednesday on the airwaves. So wherever you are listening to us at this moment, just bow down your heads. Let's say thank you, God, for a moment. We're going to do that with Monica Omorodion in this one titled Jesus.
I give thanks and praise to the Most High God, the King of glory, the Lord of lords, the Alpha and the Omega, the great I am that I am, for giving His Son Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. Glory.
Tribe of Judah, the Lion of Judah, the El Shaddai. Oh, I found a man. His name is Jesus. God so loved the world that He gave His only Son. Whosoever believeth shall have eternal life. He died on the cross. He died on the cross. The El Shaddai. He sent His Son to die for me. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, woo. I woke up this morning singing songs of praises. Birds are singing some sweet lullaby. When I consider the heavens, the works of your hands, the moon and the stars, magically placed. I thank you for my life, chances you have given me. Oh Lord, to you I give the glory. Kini wujuda, the El Shaddai. Oh, Morolu Bala, Jesu lorúkọ rẹ̀.
Father, we thank you for this day. Father, we thank you for this great moment. Father, we thank you for this inspiration. Father, we thank you for this energy. We thank you for this love. We thank you for all these ingredients that make this show happen. Father, we thank you because you are great. We thank you because, Lord, you've always stood for us. You've always stood beside us. You've always guided our thoughts, our deeds, and whatsoever that it takes to put this show on the airwaves. Lord, we want to pray that this 36th episode of African Fiesta should be the one that will create an impact in somebody's life. Lord, bless the listeners, bless the team that is doing everything to make sure that this program is successful. Bless the people who will participate on it, and we pray that whatsoever is said on the show today, Lord, will go a long way to provide development to our beautiful African continent and to the rest of the world. Father, we commit the show into your hands. Take control over it and just show us how to do it. We'll do it the way you want us to do it. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, we've prayed. Amen.
Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for my family. Oh Lord, thank you for my life. over my life, oh, Lion of Judah, come and take control, yeah. Come and take control, where is my love? Thank you, my Lord. Take all.
Her name is Monica. She calls herself Monica Station. She is a gospel artist based in Boston, Massachusetts. And of course, that beautiful one is titled Jesus. It is a reggae piece. And of course, you're listening to African Fiesta number 36, coming to you from Apex One Radio, broadcasting from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America this day, February the 24th, 2016. And of course, it's a rainy day here in the city of Columbus, but temperatures are not quite low. You can make it even without putting on warm clothing. But we're not advising you to go out there with just a t-shirt. Just put something that is reasonably warm. Okay. Once again, welcome on board. It's going to be an exciting episode of African Fiesta coming to you from Apex One Radio this day. Exciting because we have lots and lots of very young and dynamic Africans who will be speaking on this show, including Elynn Fesse Basil. She is a Cameroonian actress who has taken upon herself to stretch a helping hand to the disadvantaged, the less privileged. And of course, she's doing that through Sundrop Initiative, an NGO she just founded. And that NGO, in its initial activities, will go down the field this Saturday to organize a dinner, call it charity dinner in Boya. And during this event, guests will be expected to show support, for this social mission and do whatever thing they can do to provide just what is needed to make the less privileged in our community, feel that they do belong. And so, Elynn Fesse will be joining us live on Apex One Radio's African Fiesta from Boya to throw more light on Saturday's event, which will be covered live by Apex One Radio. Then we shall also have Lizzie Roberts talking to us from Boya. She is a Cameroonian actress who is featuring in Smoke Screen, directed by or produced by Ivan Namme. She'll be telling us her experience in that movie as well as her career in acting. Then we also have a young Cameroonian up-and-coming singer who is based in Dallas, Texas. His name is Tirajai. He'll be telling us about his music as well. Then, like I announced earlier on, we shall be having highlights of the first edition of the New Breed Africa Celebrity Awards that took place in Bamenda over the weekend. And our man Valerie Dulafe covered that event live. We shall come back to those great moments which listeners of Apex One Radio enjoyed during that event. My name is Ernest Kanjo. I'm not in this studio alone. I'm with my closest collaborator.
Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the world. And like usual, my name is Ajong Asangamin, and I'm here with Ernest Kanjo.
Okay, she's here with me, and both of us are going to run the show and see just where it is going to take us to at the end of at the end of the 3 long hours we are going to be here in the studio. Definitely it's going to be an exciting one. Ajong, the first song we are going to have our listener savor is titled Simplicity. Just tell me, what do you make of somebody who is just simple?
Well, not that much. They're simple, just probably their lifestyle.
And is simplicity a value you admire?
Yeah.
But when they say somebody is simple, what does that mean precisely?
That the person is, wow.
Easy going?
Yeah.
Easy to deal with?
Yeah, easy to go with.
Okay. Well, I think life is about being simplistic, and when problems do come, just
Take it the way it is.
yeah, shove them away and let your problems not weigh on you, because the more the more you keep those thoughts, those negative thoughts in you, the more you weigh out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so as usual, as tradition holds, we begin by taking you years back. That is, we take you memory lane, and this one is titled Simplicity by Tilda. It is a remix of Prince Nico Mbarga's Simplicity done in the 70s. Let's listen to it, then we'll be right back. Just right ahead, our studio guest will be making his arrival here in the studio of Apex One Radio, situated at the northern belt of the city of Columbus. His name is Mayo Makinde, the candidate for the 25th district of local elections. They call it the state representative elections here in the state of Ohio. He'll be right here to tell us about his beat. And of course, like I said, he is the main guest in this episode of African Fiesta. Remember that we have another special guest who will be speaking live from Boya. Actress Elynn Fesse, humanitarian philanthropist, who goes on the field this Saturday with the maiden edition of the charity dinner that takes place at the Eta Palace Hotel in Moliko, Boya. Apex One Radio will be covering that event live with our man on the field, Valerie Tata Dulafe. This is Fiesta number 36, coming to you from the United States of America. Listen to this beautiful piece of music, all but then pregnant with a lot of meaning.
Hello, Ethioma. I hope you're doing great today.
I guess not, Akosia.
That's true. You don't look so pleasant. What's the problem?
Well, I'm terribly hungry.
Hungry? There's food everywhere.
Food everywhere, you mean? See, I'm fed up with this quick chop for corner road every day.
Now you're talking.
Now I'm talking.
Yes! I have the
Oh,
solution!
Jesus, what?
Follow me home. My mom is making benku and okra soup.
Bank who? Say that again.
Benku and okra soup, silly.
Banku and okra soup. Okay, which one is this?
It's a delicacy of the Ashanti tribe of Ghana, a West African country. Come with me. I bet you'll love it.
Wow.
My mom will gladly show you the recipe, and then whenever you want it, you can just make it.
That would be exciting. I'm excited and salivating already.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Just like banku and okra soup, Akosa gives you the recipe of the most desired African dishes on Delicacy. Delicacy is every week on Apex One Radio. Join us on the Apex One Radio dining table. Then we shall dine together. Minutes to 11 here, the studio of Apex One Radio, broadcasting from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America. Today is February the 24th, right, 2016. And of course, you're listening to the 36th episode of African Fiesta. And like I announced earlier on, we have a studio guest, a young, dynamic citizen of the world, who has delved into politics, and of course today on the show he's going to explain just what his political ambitions are. His name is Mayo Makinde. Mayo Makinde is the candidate for the 25th district, the 25th district for the state representative. Okay, well, he's right here in the studio and he's going to explain everything to us. Okay, don't forget that we have lots and lots of other exciting items, including guests who will be speaking live from Cameroon. And of course, we shall also be listening to highlights of last week's maiden edition of the New Breed Africa Celebrity Awards that took place in Bamenda. Okay, at exactly 32 minutes after 10 a.m. here in the studio of Apex One Radio, time for us to welcome our studio guests. Mayo Makinde, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, brother.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. And you?
Very well, very well. I'm so honored to be able to be on your show. I've known you in the community for a while, and been able to share thoughts and work with you in this Columbus community. So thank you so much for honoring me and bringing me here.
Right. Okay. Just to inform our listeners that I've known you in a different capacity.
Yes, sir.
And today I'm on the airwaves with you to talk politics.
Of course, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, it's always said that if you avoid politics, then politics cannot avoid you, because whatsoever happens, there is some politics involved, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
politics affects virtually everybody. So you can't vehemently say that you don't do politics.
Right.
Everybody does politics in one way or the other,
Very
directly or indirectly.
Very well.
Once again, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. To follow up on what you said, you can walk outside your door and every single action that you take, every single step that you take is affected by politics.
Exactly.
You take a wrong step or do the wrong thing, say they will get in the car. The laws that have been passed and policies that's been passed every day affects you. So people don't want to get involved in politics sometimes. They forget that everything that we do as listeners, we get out of our, sometimes even in your house.
Right.
Playing enough music in the house loud enough, politics affects that. Every single thing we do in our lives is affected by politics, if we want it or not. So it behooves us to get involved in politics, and the system will only work better when we get involved in it. So
Right. And so you are the candidate for the state representative for the 25th district. Could you just clarify us on that? What does that mean precisely?
Oh well, what it means is that people like myself will be a representative for the state of Ohio, and
Okay.
there's 99 districts in Ohio. Go ahead.
Is that the House of Representatives?
House of Representatives,
Okay.
and these are the people that pass the laws to the state of Ohio.
Okay.
So I mean, it's something that most people don't know what their state representatives do, nor do they even know who their state representative is. But it's very important, very vital that you know who these people are, and that's why one of my first items on my platform is access to government. You know, most people that in my district that I meet, I give them my cell phone number. You know, you need to know who's representing you in the state of Ohio,
Right.
and know how you can reach out to them. Now, don't get me wrong, I won't be able to answer every single person's call at every time, and then sometimes I'll have to defer somebody to my secretary or my administrative assistant when I get in office, because you can't answer like 11 million people call at the same time. You know,
Right.
So, but the point of it is that people need to feel like they know who is representing them in the state of Ohio. I will be representing them, passing laws on the behalf of the people in my district.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that will be for the state of Ohio. Then the next level is Congress, which
Okay.
is federal level.
Right. Let us know what is the composition of the House of Representatives of Ohio. How many seats do you have?
Oh, there are 99 seats in the
99
House.
seats,
Yeah,
okay.
and the Senate is 33 seats in the House. There's
Okay.
each 3 House seats went to 1 Senate seat. So, and that's the legislative body. There's the judicial body, and there's the executive body. And the executive body is the governor's office. So, most of the time is the same. Well, not most of the time. It's the same platform that you have in the city hall.
Okay.
You have city council as the legislative body, and the mayor's office is the executive body, and of course the judicial body is always there. And on the federal level, you have the president of the United States. You have Congress, which is the House and Senate, in U.S. Congress, House and Senate, and you have the Supreme Court, like the one that we're talking about right now. The Supreme Court justice that's passed. He's a member of the federal level of the judicial side. So so it's federal, state, and city. I'm running for a state representative on the state level to be on the legislative side.
And we are going to come back to that, but before we get there, I think our listeners would also want to know what you mean by 25th district.
Right. The 25th district is one of the, actually the fourth, and when you talk about poverty in Ohio, unfortunately, 25th district is number 4 on the list of districts that have deals with poverty in Ohio. So it's a district that has has a lot of underserved communities. A lot of boarded up buildings. And I could just tell you, if you know anywhere about Columbus, Broad Street is the southern border in this district. 161 is the northern border. So, and it's also one of the largest districts in the state.
Okay.
So it's Broad Street up to 161. And then Easton is part of it, but Gahanna is where it stops at on the east side. It stops in Gahanna, so it doesn't go into Gahanna. So Gahanna will be the eastern border, and on the western border will be Clintonville and Victorian Village. So once you start going to Clintonville and Victorian Village on the west side of it, you're going out of the district. So it's just pretty much the Linden area, north and south Linden, the eastern area, the Milo Grogan area, Brittany Hills area, and also the Fifth Avenue area, 5th and Cassidy, all that area, and the Mount Vernon area, the King Lincoln district. So all that area, Shepherd area, Brittany Hills area, they're all in Mifflin Township. They're all in the district.
What is the difference between a district and county?
The district is just a part. In Franklin County, we probably have about 7 or 8 or 9 district in the state of Ohio. That are in Franklin County. County is on its own. There's just a different level of government. There's the city, county, state, and federal. So so those are just levels of government. So Franklin County is just it's its own thing. You know what I mean? So you have city, county, state, and federal. So so that's just what it is. But Franklin County is we all work together. As a state representative, I'll be talking to Franklin County commissioners. Which one of my mentors, who's actually in the seat right now, is running for commissioner. So I'll be talking to them. I have a good relationship with them. I'll be talking to them about how we can better serve the county can serve people in my district. So.
Okay, thanks very much for that education. You may underestimate these things, but then a lot of people, who live in this city and who even grew up in this city don't know how the political, how the city is stratified or how the state is stratified politically. I think when we have people like you who have a mastery of the, of the political, structure of the state of Ohio, it is always very important that we get that vital information. But then, Mayo Makinde,
Yes,
tradition holds that we ask our guests to explain who really he is to begin with. So, who is Mayo Makinde?
Yeah, who I am is I'm actually a son of two Nigerian immigrants. They came for scholarships at Ohio State University. So I grew up knowing Ohio State and as a big deal to them because they're big Ohio State fans, of course. And my dad and mom were known as the first, quote unquote, because I do not like the word, but I'll use it for better understanding. The first Africans to bring German and dance into Columbus back in the late 60s and early 70s. They used to be part of a group called Uhuru Dance. My dad started that group, and all this is stuff that have been told to me, because of course I didn't know about that. I was not even born at that time. So
right.
So my background comes naturally from Nigerians, and I was born here in Columbus, Ohio, St. Anne's Hospital, now Mount Carmel, St. Anne's, when they took us back there when I was younger, when I was 2 and I came back when I was 15. So I had a chance to experience life in Africa, and I saw how rough things can be, and I saw some of the heritage of where my people, my father and mom are from. So I reach out to all African communities in Columbus that, we now all are in a country of immigrants, a country of diversity, and so much, a country of representation.
Right.
And for us to never have had a representation in the state of Ohio, in the State House, it's sad. And that's not the only thing I'm running on. Trust me, even when I talk to other communities, I'd never mention that because I don't think it's that relevant to other people as much as the fact is. But if at the least we need to know that in a representative government, we need representation at some point. So, I mean, if that's the least reason for any African to vote in Columbus today, for me, at the least, not at the most, because the most reason is what I plan to go do.
Right.
At the least, we need to have representation. Never in the state of Ohio has any African ever been in the State House. Never. Either in the House or Senate. So this is history we're making, and I believe that I'm the most qualified. Kevin Boyce, who's the current state representative, believes I'm the most qualified. He's been mentoring me for the last 3 years to take this position. I have ran for this position at the age of 26 in 2008. So, this
is the second time.
Yeah, second time I'm running.
Okay.
So, and the first time, I was running. The major challenges, and I say major challenges, who the people that are backing my opponents, they told me then that they didn't think I was ready, back then. And with the same thing they're telling me now is they don't think I'm ready, So, but, and they've questioned, I've heard the people talk about, if I'm really American and where was I born, and I told you about all that. I never thought I could deal with the birther question like President Obama was dealing with. I never thought, because I'm thinking, okay, he's the president, that's why he's dealing with it. I'm running for state representative. I would never think anybody would question that, but they have. I've even thought about posting my birth certificate on my website so nobody gets to that point. Right. But I say all that to say that I'm honored to be able to run for this seat, and if you go on my website, they can see more of my platform, things I want to do. But again, access to government is one, better jobs is another thing, and commitment to communities is the last thing. And then one more thing I'll add is, so we're talking about who I am. I'm a community activist in Columbus, community organizer in Columbus. And the last time we had a community organizer, there was an office in Columbus, was Bill Moss. I don't know if many people know about Bill Moss. He got on the school board and ran for mayor, and he did not make it to be a mayor. But he was very guy that was very loved by the community because he spoke truth to power.
Right.
He stood for the community. So I am that community organizer. I've been able to help rec centers in this Columbus, Ohio, because they shut down rec centers in 2009. Right after I lost my race, they shut down some rec centers in Columbus. And I was living in that neighborhood where one of the rec centers was shut down, Crum Park. I grew up in Fifth Avenue area, and I remember that I grew up through that Crum Park. Without that Crum Park, there'd be nothing for me to do, recreation wise or leisure activity wise. So, and if that was not there, the only thing that was left for us to do was probably fight each other or do more crazy things as young men. So I went to the city hall with collaboration with pastors in the neighborhood, faith-based leaders in the neighborhood, organizations in the neighborhood, the community. I galvanized the community together, and we went to city hall. And we made speeches at City Hall. We had meetings with them. We were able to partner up with Columbus Blue Jackets, and they were able to match the city dollar for dollar to make sure the rec centers opened back up. And 2 months later on after that, they opened up all these rec centers. And there was 12 rec centers in Columbus. That's my claim to fame. That's what people know about me a lot in Columbus. But that's community activism and community organizing at the best and its finest. So it's stuff like that I want to take to the next level. In the State House, I want to make sure I fight for communities and within our district, so pretty much that's who I am. I am someone that likes to speak up for people that can't speak up for themselves. Another thing that I have a speech impediment, where it's like I sometimes speak real fast and sometimes stutter. So and people have tried to use that against me. Like I would they have. I'm sure they know, because this is in politics. People use whatever they can use.
Right.
But the one thing that I like about what's going on is the fact that in the government of representation, I will be proud to represent every little child or every grown person that has speech impediment, and in different ways that stutters in the district. Because this is something that average everyday people deal with,
right.
And it's a representative government. Like I said, never having the first or second generation African American in the State House, and also being able to represent people with those kind of issues or speaking issues and all that. I'll be glad and proud to be able to do that, so that's who I am. I mean, I am that guy that would easily talk. You can easily talk to me. I'm socially acceptable to be around me and everything. I don't think I'm too big to be around anybody else. I mean, I'm in no way am I bougie in any kind of way, or in no way do I think that do I not fit in anywhere. So that's what it's all about. I'm a member of one of the greatest fraternities in life, Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And within those organizations, the organization that's supposed to bring the community together. They're supposed to lift up the community, and I'm very active in my chapter as a community organizer. So those are things I've done, and I can go all day about things I've done and who I am. But the bare bone, the things that I look at every day that keep me thinking about how proud I am is my heritage, what I've done and what my passion is. My passion is to help people speak up when they can't speak up for themselves, and that's why I'm running. So. Yeah.
Well, okay, Mayo, I have this question for you. Could you explain to our audience your education background?
Thank you. Well, actually, when I left here, I went to probably middle school in Nigeria, and got a chance to go to school over there. Then came back, and since I've been back, I went to high school. I went to East Marysville High School, which is I was the fifth black kid in the whole school, Marysville High School at that time. And then I transferred to Eastmore High School in my final year, which is almost like the opposite of that. But, we had more than 5 white kids in school, but it was predominantly African American. And so it was a story of 2 different worlds that I had to, deal with, and I've been able to adapt within those worlds. Even when I got to Eastmore High School, I still had to deal with assimilating with my own people and my own brothers and sisters, but assimilating because it's not so easy to when you're a child. What you've known is because I was still growing, so what you've known is who you are, so. At that time, what I knew was mostly, the African or the Nigerian culture, maybe plus the country. Like, when I say country, I mean Marysville, Ohio. That was I knew a little bit of the country culture, which is not nowhere in the city culture. So I had to adopt, and I was learning too from that culture. And when I graduated from there, I went to Columbus State for a couple of years, and from there I went to Western Kentucky University to play football. I played football over there and part of the 2002 National Championship football in Western Kentucky. I played defensive end, for those who know much about football. So, yeah, and came back after that when I didn't make it to NFL. I looked back on my career and said, what's next? So I got into thinking my degree was political science. What can I do with it? So I Googled Democrats, and I found an event. It was an Ohio Democratic Party state dinner, and I just walked in there to try to see if I can talk to somebody. I didn't even know what a state dinner was. So I walked in there and I ran into Stephanie Tubbs Jones, who was one of the first people that I ran into. I didn't know this is one of the most powerful women in the state. She was the first one I ran into. So everything that happened in my political life has been by either luck or by divine. Or this is what. And the way I've taken it, that's what God wants me to do. You know what I mean? That's the way I've taken it. If things are just happening so easy and so fast, it must be some kind of a sign for you for what to do. So yeah, it's that I've been able to use to maneuver around what I want to do. So I said Stephanie introduced me to Bill Anthony, who's the chairman of the Democratic Party, and from there it's been history. Bill sat me down the first week and we had lunch and told me, you need to pay your dues if you ever want to be valid in politics. If you want to be someone that's valuable to politics in Ohio, he said, get in the community, do some community work, and also work for the party as much as you can. And I said work, I mean volunteer. And all this is a volunteer. So he put that in me. And at that time, I was just listening to instructions. But when you start to do work and you start to see how the difference it makes in people's lives, you start to know what life is about. And so that I grew up, with instructions from a man who became my mentor, Bill Anthony, chairman of the Democratic Party. I grew up with instructions, but those instructions turned into a lifestyle. And I started to love what I was doing, love to see the difference that I'm making, So that's how I got involved in the Civic Association, which I became a president of later on, when I was able to save the rec centers. And also, there's not one Democratic elected in Franklin County today that I've not impacted them being in office. At least in the area that I lived in, there's not one. And those are the things that I'm proud of, that I've worked with the party, the Democratic Party. At the same time, I've worked for the community. So I have all the tools and the requirements to be the state representative in this district, including when I ran in 2008. So,
yeah. Okay, let me go back to some education, and I would like to know exactly how much you know about the city of Columbus, where you live. Could you just describe that city to us?
Well, I mean, the city is 17th largest city, or 14th largest city. The numbers goes back and forth in the United States of America, and also the central city in the state of Ohio. I have great passion, like every Ohioan should have, about this great state. There's no other state like the state of Ohio, and there's no other city like the city of Columbus to me.
Right.
So, I mean, the city has, in the inner city part of Columbus, it's very beat up in some way. Some do not like to say it's beat up, but it's just a fact. As a community organizer and a community activist, I cannot pretend, or I cannot sugarcoat things. If we sugarcoat and pretend, then people will know how serious it is about how we need to fix things. And it's a beautiful city in the sense of the people. It's a beautiful city in the sense of the history, but recently a lot of development has been going on downtown, and they've been trying to move it up towards the inner city. Our former mayor and great guy has been doing that, but it's not fast enough for the people, because people are feeling angry, and that's why people like Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are catching a lot of they're getting a lot of momentum, because people in America period are tired of not feeling like they're getting the resources of the country. It's not, the Columbus is not the only one. There's a lot of status quo that goes on. In Columbus, in the sense of development. And a lot of boarded up buildings in my district. So, and my district is pretty much the heart of Columbus. I mean, when I say heart of Columbus, it's not in the middle, but it's like the major part of the city. Because it's right next to downtown, and going up towards northeast downtown, is where my district is. So.
Demographically, how large is your district?
How large? Again, it's the largest district because all those neighborhoods that I mentioned earlier are involved in it. Again, from Broad Street, which is the center of the state, I mean the center of the city. I'm sorry, north to all the way to 161. and also from Victoria Village and Clintonville, running east all the way to Gahanna, so definitely it is big. It's very important to make sure that that we understand the city and the district. The district is probably, like I said, in the inner city of Columbus, there's probably like 3 major districts. And this is my district, the 26th district, and I think the other one is 24th. I mean, but those districts are right in the inner city. When you're not going to the suburbs. When you're talking about suburbs, you're talking about like the Gahanna and the Westerville and Rennersburg and all that stuff. We're talking about just the inner city, because people still count those as part of the city of Columbus. But when I'm talking about city that's real inner city is where my district is. So.
Just as Ohio is to the United States of America, how politically significant is your district to Columbus?
Oh, that's what the point I just made is. It's very significant because this is the heart of the city. What I mean? So I mean, everything that is ran through the city. You can't come into Columbus from the north or from the east side of the state without touching my district. I mean, you cannot. So I mean, again, it's Broad Street and High Street.
In terms of politics, how much weight does your district have?
Oh, I mean, it has a lot of weight. I mean, again, it's 1 of 99. When it comes to black people, and then this is what I would describe. I think my district, and demographic wise, half of it is New Americans. The other half is just all different parts of them. I don't like to say it's pretty much people that have been there for a while. Half of it is people that have been there for a while. The other half is New Americans. My district is the most diverse district in the state of Ohio. Right. So I mean, you have a lot of New Americans, Ghanaians, Somalians. The second largest Somali concentration is Columbus, and most of the Somalis that live in Columbus live in my district. So and I know we have some that live out west, but the majority of them live in my district. Also Ghanaians and Cameroonians. A lot of them live in the Tamarack Circle area, and all that is in the district. So it's just very important that we understand that voice-wise, people that understand, people that understand the value of government in their life and politics. People that are just trying to gain some sort of respect or some sort of service, and into their lives, It's a lot of people in my district that live that life. So,
okay, his name is Mayo Makinde. He is the candidate for the state representative of the 25th district, and of course, he is our main guest in the studio of Apex One Radio. Thank you so much, Makinde, for setting the decor. And when we come back, we shall be looking deep into your candidacy. This is African Fiesta number 36, coming to you from Apex One Radio this day, February the 24th, 2016. Let's have some music. Then, when we come back, we shall definitely be making a stopover in Dallas, where a young Cameroonian musician will be telling us more about himself.
Apex One Radio. Get informed, enjoy, and learn.
beginning from today. If you want to talk, make it talk English.
Beautiful high life coming to you from Africa. Precisely from the west of that country. His name is Bright Shimezi. That's what he titled because of English. And of course, like I said, we shall be taking our first stop over. That will be Dallas, Texas. Just a couple of minutes.
If you want to talk, make it talk English. English. Because of English. English. My teacher punished me. Oh, English. Because of English. English. Oye kuzabya motariyo. English. Because of English. English. My teacher punished me. Oh, English. Because of English. English. Oye kuzabya motariyo.
Okay, our next guest is the author of a very, very captivating single called First Lady. His name is Tirajai, Cameroonian based in Dallas, Texas. Just right ahead, we shall be receiving the artists on the airwaves of Apex One Radio and, of course, on this show. Call it African Fiesta. But before the young artist comes on the air, I would like you to listen to this.
Because of English. English, my teacher punished me. Oh, English, because of English.
This is the moment of life, a moment we've been waiting for. They don't know, oh they don't know.
That one is titled La Ye. Beautiful piece there, titled La Ye, coming to you from Apex One Radio. And of course, the author of this very captivating piece of music is Tirajai. He is our next guest on this edition of African Fiesta.
We find a way from home. We are not alone. We are a family. A family.
The young yet so talented artist will be live on the airwaves of Apex One Radio just right ahead. But before he comes on, listen to this one. It's titled La Ye. And this is a special dedication to fans of Apex One Radio in Kumbo, Northwest region of Cameroon. And you may like to know the language the young man is singing in. That should be Lamso, a Cameroonian mother tongue.
champions. Haban mo ang banla.
author of First Lady, a single that will see the light of day in 3 days. That is precisely on the 27th of February of this year. But then, you're listening there to Laie, one of his previous masterpieces. Tirajai is our next guest. He will be joining us in just a couple of seconds, live from Dallas, Texas. Beautiful piece there coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's exactly 5 minutes past 11. And of course, like I said, the author of this piece is our next guest. Aight, from Dallas, Texas, Tirajai now joins us. Welcome to the show, artist. How are you today?
No, I'm fine.
So how is Dallas this morning?
A little bit cold, but nice.
Okay. This is Apex One Radio. We are privileged to have you on the airwaves this day. And you just listened there to one of your pieces, a previous one, of course, titled Laie. Could you just tell us a little bit about it? When did you release this one?
Oh, you mean the Laie?
Yes.
Okay, Laie is it's a song I did for the BSU, and I don't know if you know about the Boy Family Union.
Exactly.
Yeah. I did a song last year. That was July.
Okay.
Yeah, in respect to that event.
Right.
The one we had in Dallas.
Okay, so what are you saying in the song? Are you paying tribute to the Boy Family Union?
Not only Boy, but to Africans as a whole.
Right.
You know, what I'm simply saying in the song is Africa is rich in their culture.
Right.
And we're so blessed to be united out here. Like, staying as one family and representing who we are and where we come from. And, you know, preserving our heritage.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Now, if we brought you on the airwaves of Apex One Radio today, it's because 3 days from now, you will be releasing your next single titled First Lady.
That's right.
That is a single, I guess, not an album, right?
Not really from my album, because that's just a single on its own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, what genre is First Lady? What musical genre is that song?
First Lady is a song I did before under the Afro R&B genre.
Okay. R&B, Afro R&B.
This time it's with a little twist, because I'm doing just the acoustic version of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, who is the First Lady you are referring to in this track?
I'm not referring to a particular lady, because I've come across a couple of women, you know, even my sisters too, and I've seen the struggle, how they try to keep up with their relationships, you know, despite what the challenges they face. So I decided to do the song in respect to any woman that can really love their man right, like that can respect their man right, irrespective of what that man is or what they have at that certain moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, what motivated you to write this song? Was there something at stake?
I mean, like, I didn't get it.
I just wanted to find out if there was something at stake that actually motivated you to write this song.
Yeah. I get caught up in the moment too, and so I decided to do the song.
Okay, in which studio is the track recorded? And tell us more about its producer as well.
You mean the studio? The studio, I recorded the song in a Smokehouse studio.
In Dallas?
Here in Dallas, yeah. So the engineering is being done in Cameroon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take you to complete this project?
It took me, it was a song I wanted to release on the 14th of February. on the 14th of this month. That's Valentine's Day, but I didn't succeed to do it because during that week I got a lot more work because I'm working on my project, like my next project, my real project. This one is just like a bridge to link the silence I've had with my fans. So why now? I've not been doing a lot of music. I've not been putting music out there, even though most of my songs are circulating everywhere, unreleased songs. The kind of songs I just leaked, after leaving the studio.
Right.
Yeah.
So does First Lady have a video yet? If not, when do you intend to shoot it?
There's a show coming up next month. Probably after that show, I'll be making plans to shoot the video for First Lady.
And what did it take you to complete this project, financially, materially, and in terms of human resources?
Financially, it's not been easy. Being a singer and unsigned artist, it's not really that easy to really complete all the projects. Starting from the studio fees and the engineering fees too. So it's a sacrifice. And about the resources, about the human resource, writing a song is something I've been doing. Like writing songs is something I've been doing for quite a long time, and I just need to come up with a certain concept that I need to develop, and think about it like for some time. It's spiritual, it just comes. Like I don't really need to, to really put so much effort on it, like trying to write a song. I just need to meditate on it. I just need to choose the right melodies, and then I meditate on it. The words will always come. Like it's kind of spiritual. I don't really know how to explain it.
Right.
So it's like there's this small voice singing to me, like telling me this is what you have to sing in that song. And the funny part about it is I don't even use a pen to write.
You don't use
a
pen
to
write?
I write all my songs in my mind.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Tirajai, we have this community leader and politician here in the studio who just listened to your song, and apparently he's inspired. He will definitely want to say something.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much. I wanted to first of all say I appreciate the music because being raised in two different cultures, African culture and African in the sense of Nigeria, and American culture in the sense of being here in Ohio. I appreciate that music, even though I did not understand the words it was saying. I can feel the beat, I can feel the music and the vibe. It's a very beautiful vibe. I wanted to encourage you and also ask: do you have colleagues that you work with, and others that like push you, inspire you within where you live at? Do you know in the music or entertainment industry that you work with? And by the way, my name is Mayo Makinde. So, but hopefully we can meet each other sometime in the future. And I'm in politics, running for office. But the question is, do you have colleagues that you work with, people that you guys inspire each other? Like, do you have that?
Yeah. Right now, I work with a few of my friends, like my roommate. I work with him. The one that is he's on that song too. And I have a couple of friends back in Africa that I work with that do the engineering for me. Those are the people I've been working with for quite a long time. And a couple of friends in Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, I made a couple of friends. So I work with them too.
Right. That's interesting. So let us talk about the February 27 release of First Lady. Do you have an event you are planning to that effect?
No, not here in Dallas, but there's an event in Cameroon, the Industry Night.
Okay. And the song will be launched at the Industry Night in Cameroon?
Yeah, they'll be premiering the song there.
Okay. Right. We want to thank you so much, Tirajai, for joining us. But before you go away, we would love to, listen to you sing. We would love to listen to an a cappella from you. So, could you give us something?
Okay. If we're talking about First Lady, let me do an acapella of First Lady.
Go ahead.
All right. You're my First Lady. I need you in my life. What could be good so I can switch you on and get you from me? You're my First Lady. I need you in my life. What you think good so I can switch you on and get you from me? Every day that I see your face, you're so good, and I don't know what this feeling will become within the space of time.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tirajai. Thank you, and we hope to have you on Apex One Radio some other time. We want to wish you the best in your career, and don't hesitate to get back to us whenever there are updates, okay?
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much.
Okay, do have a fantastic rest of the day out there in Dallas.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, this is just the foretaste of what you shall be getting on Saturday, the 27th of February 2016, when First Lady would have been out there. We just spoke there to Tirajai, up and coming Cameroonian artist based in Dallas, Texas. Let me come back to Mayo Makinde. Now, you are a politician, and development should be the first thing on your mind. How do you think music can contribute to the development of a community or a society as a whole?
I want to make sure that I make it clear that most people don't like the label politicians, and they claim that they don't like it. I'm one of the ones that really do not. Not that I don't like it, but I want to be known as a people's servant, public servant, servants, and because today one of the reasons why I'm running is access to government, because people are tired of the same old politicians that they keep coming around that nothing gets done. So even those politicians today are now saying, "Oh, I don't like the Labour politicians," but it's because of them. They've messed up that name. So I want to say I'm a public servant, and but in the politician lifestyle. But I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to make sure that people out there know that I don't see myself as a politician, but as someone that serves people. But to answer the question, which I think is very important, music is the most universal language. It's the second most universal language after love in life. Love is the most universal language. And after that is music. Music can cut across people's life, and music builds us. Builds spirit, it inspires us, motivates us to do well. So. Definitely, I always support musicians and entertainers they perform. Most of our great entertainers have come from the state of Ohio. The Ohio, the Isley brothers are Ohio players. I mean, it goes on. So.
I've seen musicians who accompany politicians on their campaign trains.
And that is important because like in the sense of someone like myself, I am in the place where now I can be known as an underdog in my race because of some challenges that come in. They have risen up after my mentor has endorsed me. Some challenges have risen up, and some powerful people, that have supported. They're starting to support people that maybe did not have any kind of strength to run against me, but now they have those people backing them. So I have those challenges, and one of the things that it reminds me of is 2008 in President Obama's campaign, and it was people like Jay-Z and people coming to play for him and coming to work with him that boosted him up to make people know more about him, because the question is, how can I get help to make sure I get in this seat and I can do the work that I need to do for the people. And that's where we can have some situations like that. I can have some situations where politicians and musicians collaborate to help get the politicians in office and make sure that they keep him accountable to what he's supposed to do for the community. I would love to have that kind of situation. Now, of course, I do not know Jay-Z, nor do I know John Legend, but definitely I would love to have that kind of situation where I have some celebrity status in music come in and help bolster me up and thrust me into this seat. And I want people like yourself and everybody else that knows me to make sure that they keep me accountable, as well as every other politician out there. I know I'm going to do the work I promise to do, but it's important to have people that are very much famous in our community for the work that they've done. I'm talking about musicians and art actors. It's important for them to keep our elected officials accountable, push them to make sure they do what they promise to do.
And would you have any thing against an artist who probably criticizes, you in their song if you're not doing the work?
I would not. I really believe in transparency and accountability. And the only thing I would not prefer, I can't say anything against what anybody says. It's a free country, Anybody can put anything in their song, but only thing I hope that they were doing is that they've actually contacted or talked to that politician, or if it's myself, they've actually tried to call me privately and try to find out what I'm doing and why I'm not doing what they think is right. And if I explain to them and give them a justification, and they don't agree with it, they might go and maybe criticize.
But they should do that in a responsible manner, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. In the sense of respect, and I know for myself, anything I do that somebody might not agree with, I'm ready to sit down and have a conversation with them.
Right.
It's a principle of understanding and principle of communication. So we have to take respect to that as man to man, or woman to woman, or man to woman, in a society of adults, in a society where we're all trying to make this society better. I'll hope that they communicate with me, and if they notice that I'm doing it for other reasons outside the good of society, please call them out, call me out. I would want you to do that. Because definitely the reason why I'm going into this is not for me. If anything, maybe I can make a career legacy for myself in the future to say that I came in. I came to serve people. So, but it's not for me to be able to put a title on my name. I've had enough titles in my life, and I could get more titles without being in office.
Right.
So,
Okay, let us come back to your candidacy, and just to remind our listeners that you are running in for the state representative of the 25th district. Earlier on, you said a state representative represents the people, but I want to know concretely, how does that happen? How do you represent the people?
Well, see, you have sessions on Tuesdays and Wednesdays in the State House.
Okay.
Typically mostly Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Sometimes they have other days and have sessions if it's needed. You have committees and all that stuff. That's all the legislative process.
Right.
However, the main thing that the legislature is supposed to do is supposed to go into their constituency and talk to people, find out what they want. In between what they want and what they think that is ideal and aligns with the Constitution of the state of Ohio and the United States of America, in between that would be able to, that legislature is supposed to take that to the State House and go fight for what he knows that is right and and it's aligned with what his constituents wants. So, they're supposed to have town hall meetings, which are some of the things that I definitely would do. Have town hall meetings, have different type of constituents discussions and conversations, so you can really know what they want. It's not much of, and this is one of the things that I think that people that do not really understand the politics of this country do. Is that they ask politicians, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? The question should not be what are you going to do. You should be finding out what they've done. And if their passion is really honest, because what they're supposed to do is supposed to get there and find out what you want, and then do what you want, not what, and that's why politicians, they come with all these scripted things that they claim they're going to do. It's almost like when you have to go speak to somebody, they tell you to know your audience. If I'm a voter, I don't want you to cater stuff to what you think I would want. I want you to what I want from you is to know that I'll be able to access you and let you know what I want when you get in office, so that you can do what I want for me because you represent me. So if you come to me and I'm asking what are you going to do, I'm assuming that you know what I want already, you know, and most of the time it's not, it's lies, you know. People just if I want to go right now and I want to go represent you, and I come and tell you that, well, I want you to get a better house than you have. I want you to get, you know, a better job than you have. You know, I'm doing that just to. It's almost like I'm pimping your mind. You know, the best thing I could tell you is that I want you to be able to access me, so that whenever you need something, you can let me know, and I will represent you in that way. That's the pattern that's supposed to go in. But we're so used to wanting politicians to know or have something, or like, what are you going to do? And they have all the things that they say they're going to do. Then when they don't do it, we get surprised, because they can't serve everybody all at once. They can only serve the common good of everybody, with the commonality within everybody. You know, if everybody says, you know, that I want something different, find what's common in everybody, what everybody wants. So what you think is needed. For example, if everybody in my district might say they want a new car, I can't get everybody a new car. What I can do, though, is that I can look at the statistics and look at the numbers and look at the kind of job that everybody has, and if it's a job that's not good enough for them to get a car, then let's find better jobs in my district, which is one of my platform. I want better jobs so moms and dads don't have to work 2 jobs to raise a family.
If I understand you, it means that what people should expect from a representative of the people should be different from what they should expect from an executive position, for instance, like a governor or a president.
Well,
right. So is there any difference, or people should also expect people in executive offices to act like representatives of the people?
But it is the same, but and also not. It's similar, but not all the way the same. The representatives,
the governor will have everybody within the state, but you, from perhaps the Democratic Party, will have people who have specific problems.
Right.
So, what is the difference there? And I was also thinking that there could be a nuance here, because what your people may want, you know, may not be what you as a person, or you who has an experience in the community, right, think that is good for them. Right. So if what they want is something you think that is not good for them, but you have to represent them, will you go ahead and you know, table their problems in the house, whereas you know as a person that it is not exactly what that community needs?
Right. The first question to the executive branch and the legislative branch. The executive branch is also representative of everybody. Like the governor of Ohio is the number 1 citizen of Ohio.
Right.
So he's representing every citizen in Ohio. I'm representing the people of the 25th district. However, even though I'm just representing people of the 25th district, I have to have a mindset that it's open enough to have a compromise and dialogue to represent. To understand that even though my primary representation goes to 25th district constituents,
right,
I have to be open-minded enough to understand that it's not just us. You know, it's us and our neighbors, you know, the 24th district, 26th district, and see what the commonalities we can have. And when we pass laws, that's why you have to be able to reach across the aisle. They talk about reaching across the aisle a lot. It's Democrats reaching across the aisle with representatives from the Republican district. Like most of the rural areas in Ohio, most of them are Republicans. So
right,
you have to be able to reach across the aisle and understand why they want something. I'll use an example. My example is a gun issue. You know, I really hope that someday that the representatives in the rural areas and the Republican areas can understand that as much as they want their guns to be able to go hunt, those same guns are guns that are killing a lot of youth in the inner city. So when the Democrats or the more liberal people say that they want gun safety issues and policies passed, you know, the people on the other side that wants free guns and all that, you know, like want to have guns all day and all kind of ammunition to play with, they need to have understand that we are all in this America together. We're all in this Ohio together. You have to think for your neighbors, you know, and think, you know, how much this affects your neighbors. If people are dying, you know, you want your gun to go hunt, you know, and the same gun that you want to go hunt, other people are dying because we have laws of free for all kind of type policy. So that's what the legislative body does. It's a way where you get to sit down and compromise and talk across the aisle and try to reach across the aisle so that people can understand how it's affecting my district and how it's affecting your district, and we can come together and have a compromise. And we send that to the governor, and the governor makes it a law. So, and the governor has to think for everybody. So, it's very important when we vote for governors to make sure we have someone who's, or any executive seat, to make sure we have someone who can think for everybody, who can accommodate everybody. And the second question, I forgot what the second question was, but it was about if in time that I see some issue that I think I lean on one side,
right,
and my constituents lean on the other side. I'll use a case example is the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Civil Rights Movement. There were a lot of white and there were a lot of representatives and legislatures that because they knew it was for the betterment of the United States of America.
Okay.
They went ahead and went along with passing that law, even though in the South a lot of people did not. The constituents was not ready for it. The constituents were not ready for that law to be passed because in their minds, they didn't really care. I don't want to speak for them, but in their minds, at that time it was not popular and it was not so fashionable to have blacks have the same rights as whites. And in the 60s, they were doing the civil rights movement. However, this representatives did the ideal work of a representative. They knew that it was better for the nation, for the future of the country. So they went ahead and passed these laws. They went ahead and passed these laws, especially when a president of the United States had been killed. Due to the times that those times, it was so. We've had Dr. King killed. We've had Medgar Evers killed. So people had died because, and this is how bad the country's starting to look. But for the betterment of the United States of America, which they represented, they went ahead and passed the law that they knew that was right, in opposed to just pleasing their district. And some of them had to catch the flack for that. And it makes this country a better nation today.
Right.
Because now everybody, including those people that did not want those back then, they realize today how better we are as a nation having those laws.
Right. So, how long do elected officials in the office you are running for stay on?
It's a 2-year term, and you have a maximum of 4 terms to
4 years each.
Well, it's a 2-year term, but you have a maximum of 4 terms. So it's 8 year. You have to run every 2 years, and you can only run 4 times. So you have 2.
So you can be in office as long as let me see, 8 years.
Yeah. You can. If you want to keep running, you can be in there for the next 8 years, but you have to run every 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the Senate has a different, because the Senate is more powerful. But the House, it's every you have to run every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
And you have the maximum of 4 terms. So when I get elected this time, the next time I'll have to run is 2018.
Right.
And when 2018, I'll have 3 more chances to run. So that will be 1 term that I've had. Then I'll unless I want to run for something different at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can't go beyond 8 years, right?
There's a term limit in Ohio, and it's good. Sometimes it's bad too. You have arguments that say it's good, arguments that say it's bad. The arguments that saying it's good is like, you don't want people sitting in office and not doing anything.
Okay.
And the constituents can't get rid of them, and they just keep sitting in there. And some people have been able to, circumvent that. Some people, they will run, and after the 8 years, they will run their wife or they run their child or somebody, the family name, and that person will stay there for another 8 years, then they will come back and run. So, and that's why people are tired
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was a law that was going to be passed to that effect.
Oh, I mean,
I think a bill also.
To stop that?
I think to stop the limitation.
Well, there's a lot of things you can legislate, but sometimes you can't. There's some behaviors you cannot legislate, and people have ways to always find loopholes, and to get through laws. So people just have to be active and have to be educated about the process, enough to know not to allow politicians to misuse the place that they have, and that's what's going on mostly today. Politicians, and I'm talking about today, in the United States of America. I have an announcement to make on Thursday. And I'll wait for Thursday to maybe I'll come back on the show after the announcement. But it's a big announcement in the city of Columbus. But I say that to say that there's a rise up of people today. Wanting an electoral revolution. There's a revolution going on in America today, and it started really with the Barack Obama's election. people are tired of the everyday same old status quo, and people want to rise up. They want something different,
right?
And that's why Bernie Sanders is becoming. He's so popular as he is. Nobody expected him to ever be this popular. Nobody expected Barack Hussein Obama to be popular in 2008 enough to be a president of the United States. And we 8 years later on right now. So it's a beautiful thing to see this country grow the way it's going. And again, I believe there's electoral revolution going on in America, and the fire has started in 2008. It's still catching up right now. 2008
is when you decided to run for this office for the first time. What motivated you? What was your motivation at that time?
Well, I mean, initially, it was when I really decided to run in 2006, but the election was in 2008. And what motivated me initially in 2006 was me being mentored by Chairman Bill Anthony at that time. But it grew more into the passion of having to serve people. The more I started to serve people in the community, I started to see how it is to help people get their needs met and to find solutions to people's questions and troubles. So that was my motivation. I wanted to serve people in the best level that I could. I wanted to use my potential in the best ways I could. So it was just me being able to understand the process, the legislative process, because I worked for the Black Caucus for 2.5 years, Ohio Legislative Black Caucus for 2.5 years as a staff.
Okay.
And so I knew the process, the legislative process. I knew the community process. I knew Columbus and how much Columbus was crying for some sort of a better representation. In the sense of someone, we want something different so bad. Everybody, and it's not only Columbus, Ohio. People in inner city, people in the rural areas, they want some kind of representation that's better than what they've been getting. So, and I knew I could do that. So that's what motivated me, and I just wanted to be there to serve.
Okay, he just wanted to be there to serve. His name is Mayo Makinde. He is the candidate for the state representative for the 25th district here in the city of Columbus, Ohio, United States of America. You're listening to African Fiesta number 36, coming to you this day, February the 24th, 2016. Let's listen to some music. Then we make a stopover in Boya, Cameroon, where Elynn Fesse will be telling us about the charity dinner that takes place this Saturday.
Les pleurs d'un enfant qui a souffert. Pitié des maisons. L'avenir du Cameroun. La vie de tout un chacun est tracée. On est forcé par le destin. Je dis que tu seras président, tu le seras. La vie de tout un chacun est tracée. On est forcé par le destin. C'est dit que tu seras ministre, tu le seras avant de mourir. Même s'il faut attendre longtemps comme Rocher Mila, l'ambassadeur. La vie de tout un chacun est tracée. On est forcé par le destin. C'est dit que tu seras ministre, tu le seras. La vie de tout un chacun est tracée. On est forcé par le destin. C'est dit que tu seras commandant, tu le seras avant de mourir. John Mokoro, Maman Napol, Isse Longa, Manola yo, Gote. Because God time is the best. Thank you, Mokoro. Baby, very much, oh, mama, oh, be let me come be me hero. Baby, very much, oh, mama, oh, be let me come be me hero. People are telling me not to be mama, be let me dance, baby. People are telling me not to be mama, oh, be let me dance, baby. Very much, oh, mama, oh. Very much, oh, bacana, be let me dance, baby, oh, eh. Be let one, you want to dance, baby. Mama, oh, people wanna soul. Mama, oh, people wanna soul. Longa, international, mama, oh. Longa, engagement critique, mama, eh. Longa, disconnant international, bakanda, oh, eh. Même les petits enfants parlent de longa, mama, eh. On ne cache jamais la lumière du soleil, oh. Mama. Chara
beautiful piece of music coming to you from Central Africa, precisely from Cameroon. They call that country Africa in miniature. And it is from Cameroon that our next guest will be speaking. Her name is Fesse, Elynn. She doubles as an actress. And of course, she is the founder of the Sundrop Initiative NGO that will be organizing a charity dinner in Boya this Saturday. And the founder of that NGO, like I said, will be live on African Fiesta to throw more light on this event. At exactly 20 minutes to 12 here in the studio of Apex One Radio, situated at the northern belt of the city of Columbus. Time for us to move to Boya, Cameroon, where Elynn Fesse now joins us live. Elynn Fesse, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, how is Boya today?
The weather is very dull. There's no sun. Cold as usual.
All right, but then I understand that despite the dull weather, activities are moving on smoothly, right?
What? I didn't get you. Come again?
Yes, I was saying that activities are moving on smoothly despite the very dull weather you have in Boya this evening, I guess.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. And so you are the founder of Sundrop Initiative, a non-governmental organization that is geared at providing solace to disadvantaged people. And you will be organizing a charity dinner as part of your activities. First, when did the idea of a charity dinner conceive, and what motivated you to come up with this idea?
Okay, first thing, I know there's a popular adage that says the way to anybody's heart is through the stomach.
Right.
And Cameroonians are not very versed. They're not very sensitized about charity and giving. And even those who want to give, they find it hard to find avenues to be able to give.
Right.
So what we did was we decided to make a charity dinner because first thing first, it will bring together people of all walks of life, not just because if you made a charity concert, probably if you brought a musician who appeals to just the youth, it will be the youth. If it's at night, adults will not come. So a dinner will bring together youths, employed, unemployed, adults, and people of all walks of life. And who doesn't like free food?
Right. Okay, so Fesse, I understand that fundraising will be one of the major items on your agenda. In what projects do you intend to utilize the funds you are going to raise on Saturday evening?
Okay, Sundrop is a baby organization that just started about a year ago. So we have been, for now, it has been self-funded for a while.
Okay.
And we decided to make the dinner is not only about fundraising. We're trying to sensitize people, trying to give out information that we are here and this is what we do.
Right.
So the funds for this particular charity is going to go towards that. We have 2 orphanages that we have taken under our wings. These are baby orphanages who need a lot of help. They are in not very good situations, and they have. If you join both orphanages, they should have 35 to 40 kids, and these are children below 11.
Okay.
So this part of the funds will go towards, giving constant, monthly aid, not only financially, but in manpower to these orphanages to follow them up. And also, we are planning a competition, Southwest competition, where we're going to choose disadvantaged kids who are intelligent enough and see them through school. So this dinner is a kick-off point for all these projects that we have.
And so, who will you be expecting at the dinner, and what would they be expected to do precisely?
At the dinner, it's not a closed event. It's a palace. It's in a hall, but it's not a strictly an invite kind of event. So we're expecting people from, like I said, all walks of life. We're expecting people from school, students, we're expecting pupils, we're expecting adults, we're expecting civil servants, business people, artists, actors, actresses, people of all walks of life. And basically what we want people, first things first, we want people to come. because our major goal is sensitization. We want people to come and hear what we have to say first and be educated on these things, on the social ills. Then we'll do a little bit of fundraising, at the event. So it's not a fundraiser like you'll be called up. It's not no particular levy will be given to anybody. It's going to be a free will thing.
Right. Now, I understand that projects like yours thrive more when they have partners on board. Who are some of the partners you have for this February 27th event? And tell us how you got them to be able to be part of it.
Okay, for this event, first, one of our partners is Basil du Cameroon.
Okay.
We have Basil du Cameroon. We have Top Notch Magazine. We have Pit Stop Limber. We have Sober Foundation. That's counting a few. And it's not like we did anything special. I think when people know that what you are doing is good, when people believe in what you're doing, and if you can talk to people and convince them that this is the proper thing to do, they're always ready to come on board. People have been so helpful, so attentive, so agreeable when it comes to this event. So yeah, that's just what happened. We put out the word, we lobbied for sponsorship, and then we got this partner.
Right. Okay, you are a movie actress, and I would always love to come back to that.
Yes,
and naturally, we would expect to see a relationship between the charity dinner and your country's film industry. So, could you just situate us in that?
Okay, first things first, I'm an actress.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer. So the industry is my passion. It's a place where I grew.
Right.
And I cannot do anything without bringing them into it. So on that day, we're going to have autograph CDs. We're going to have autograph movies, which will be auctioned and sold. We're going to view a movie. We're going to preview a movie, Alma, which is on child abuse.
Right.
And we'll have a lot of actors in attendance. And we also want to make sure that our Cameroonian actors and actresses realize that if there's something there's importance in giving in giving back. And a lot of people in the movie industry, both home and abroad, have been very, very supportive. So yes, they're actively involved in the whole thing.
Right. So let us look at the event proper. How is it going to look like? What items do you have on your agenda?
Okay, we're going to have a speech. We're going to have like 2 speeches in the spirit of sensitization. We're going to have the dinner proper. We're going to auction a few CDs, both musical albums and movies. We're going to auction out art. We're going to auction out fashion because, like I said, the entertainment industry is not just actors. We have musicians, we have models, we have designers. So some people have opted to bring their items to be auctioned on that day.
Right. For
the event. Yes, we're going to have all of that, and then we're going to have live performances from a few artists. We have right now on board, we have It's a Wube, we have Reading, and we have Chile.
Right.
And Mr. Leo is planning on making an appearance as well.
Beautiful. So, as a prelude to Saturday's events, you and your team took your largesse to 2 Fako-based orphanages. Could you just tell us how these visits went and how the beneficiaries reacted to them?
Oh, first thing that I want to say, I was very, very excited. I was very happy. My heart went out to all these people who were there for me or for their station during this time, because you will not believe it, but we went there, a delegation of almost 20 people. We went, it was a free will donation. We brought together food items, clothes, shoes, and other things. And we made snack packs, and we went there, had the snacks to the kids. They explained to us their story. We discussed with them, and then we handed over the gifts. But the gifts part was not even the most important. We're going to be broadcasting videos that night of the night of the dinner of the charity of the 13th. We're going to rebroadcast videos of the 13th. The kids were wonderful. These are kids who, if given an opportunity, would actually do very good. And they loved it. They took to us they don't have these people come around very often, so they were very excited. They took to us and they were very, very happy. And I think it encourages people. Everybody who went, they came back satisfied. You came back with a new realization that you are blessed, and there are other people who, frankly, don't have 100 what you have.
Okay, we are speaking live to Elynn Fesse Basil. She is a Cameroonian movie actress and founder of Sundrop Initiative, an NGO that is aimed at putting a smile on the faces of disadvantaged populations. And of course, she's speaking live from Boya, the regional headquarters of the Southwest in Cameroon. You're listening to African Fiesta number 36, coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America. Fesse, I'm back with you just to find out what Sundrop Initiative is all about for the sake of our listeners and those who are coming across this NGO for the first time. Could you just briefly tell us your mission, vision, and of course expectations?
Okay, Sundrop Initiative is a non-governmental, non-profit association that deals with child rights and gender issues. And we have decided to pick out, because we would want to deal with all the child rights and all gender issues, but the truth is you need to start one after. You need to start somewhere and then expand. So we chose first, like, our primary objective right now is a child's right to education. A child's right to education. So what we're doing is we are connecting donors to the needs that need it, because a lot of funds come into Cameroon and into Africa for these people, but they don't finally reach them. So we are here to connect donors to donors first.
Right.
Secondly, we want to offer grants to the less privileged. Thirdly, we want to find out these cases of child abuse, child molestation, all the ills that affect the rights of a child. We're going to find this out and follow them. Like I said before, I'm a lawyer, and I did I'm studying a master's in human rights right now, so I'll be able to follow up these cases personally and not only bring these people justice, because justice is just one thing. We need to bring them aid as well. And then when it comes to gender issues, I think some people think when you say gender issues, it's just women. Gender issues affect both genders. There are people who are being abused at the office every day because they're men. So Sundrop is literally there to be a listening ear and a support system for everybody who's going through this types of abuse.
Now, first, I was going to ask you this question. Interestingly, a listener just texts us with the same question. So, how can interested funders, donors, and people of goodwill reach Sundrop Initiative if they want to support or contribute in any way?
Okay, Sundrop Initiative has an email. It is sundropinitiative@gmail.com. That's our email address. We have a Facebook page, Sundrop Initiative page. We have, and we can also actually give out numbers. We have numbers that we can give to people, but it will be more proper for them to write us to our email, which I said was sundropinitiative@gmail.com. And we're always ready 24/7 to receive whatever questions, whatever aid, whatever ideas, whatever suggestions that's coming.
That's beautiful. Okay, so we're about to run off this talk. But then, first, I have this community leader here in the studio. He is also a politician. His name is Mayo Makinde. He's been listening to you. As a leader, he's inspired. I think he has something to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's just very inspiring and very. I have so much. Of so much positive spirit and feelings that they came into me listening to you, because I do not know too many people in our days that have some celebrity status and that are using their status to uplift people in the society that they live in. You doing something like what Harry Belafonte did back in the 60s, marching with Dr. King, and people like Jim Brown is a football player in America, a very popular one, using his celebrity status. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know, they've used the celebrity stars to fight for the right things, and this is just. You are one of the people in our community today, and I say community, I mean, I'm talking about the globe. You know,
right.
There's doing this something similar, and that's you deserve a lot of applaud for what you're doing. You deserve a lot of support, and I hope that you have others who are not doing it look at you and get inspired to want to do it. I hope that some kind of way we can connect on Facebook or so in the future, because I understand you in Cameroon. I'm here in Columbus, Ohio. Any kind of ways in which I can support, I always like to support people like yourself, and it's just I'm really I'm floored by to see how much that we have people in my generation or our generation, our time, that are doing this thing. This is what's ideal. If you have any kind of status in society, you should be trying to use it to better the society and trying to lift up society, not like, you know, and I don't want to pick on Kardashians, but you know, just not like, you know, not just being like popular just to be popular, you know. Right. But it's very, very I can't. There's no words to describe the feeling, because I'm super excited just listening to her the whole time. But thank you for what you're doing, and I speak for many saying thank you for what you're doing. Do not stop, and kudos to you. Okay.
Okay, Fesse, you just listened there to
Thank you very much.
to that surprise reaction. Okay, and so do you have any appeal to the Boya public ahead of Saturday's event?
Okay, the only thing I want to say to Boya, to the population of Boya, not only Boya, Southwest and Cameroon and even out there, is please show up. Please show up. Come and, come and let's all find a way forward. Let's all come back and give back to our communities, because God has given us so much. It's just our duty to give back. I am waiting for everybody. It is not closed. If you don't have an invite, nobody's going to send you away at the door. There's enough space for everybody. And please come and let us find a way forward. Thank you.
Come and let us find a way forward. Her name is Elynn Fesse Basil. She is a Cameroonian movie actress who has a very, very loving heart, and she has decided to stretch a helping hand and put a smile on the faces of people who are needy. Fesse, before you go away, could you just remind us on the time, the venue, and of course every other practical information which interested persons could have?
Okay, it's a palace that's opposite Happy Kama Moliko, just close to the Total Moliko. The time is 4 p.m. and no formalities, basically. It's a dinner, so come dressed to eat. That's what we're expecting everybody to come for.
No formality. Please go there and show your support. So all those who lead to Boya this Saturday for the Sun Drop Initiative Charity Dinner. First of all, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the airwave of Apex One Radio to discuss Saturday's event.
Thank you very much, and I thank you everybody, and thanks very much for the kind words and the advice. Sun Drop is eternally grateful.
Okay, we wish you all the best and do have a successful event on Saturday. And so, Ajong, if interested persons want to reach Sundrop, how do they do that? Go ahead.
Okay, guys, if you're interested in doing a donation or whatever you have to help this young lady for her good work she's doing, so here's her website you can go to. That's
the email, I guess.
Her email is sundropinitiative@gmail.com. Again, it's sundropinitiative@gmail.com. You can all go there, send in any question you have or anything you have. Go there and they will give you a direction on how to give your own little bit of token for what you have for the charity.
That's interesting. And of course, we'll definitely come back to that story on Apex One Radio. Let's have just a little bit of music, then we'll be right back with our studio guests.
Boy, take it on fire. shokoto. Emana nyiji si ologo, enji ologo, eji mu ologo. They give plenty money for my shokoto. Anu musalamala, salamala, my life is salamala, salamala. Emu lady musalamala, salamala. Let the count to salamala, salamala. Bless me, they go. I'm living the life of the few brand new, my brother. Say, carry belly, no, they lie. Check on my briefcase. It have no the evidence. Oh, yeah, when you can never need a song, no, jolly. About the way you dance, the way you know, my baby. I'm a ballad dance. I got this, I got that. Hey, man, I need to get all of them. Eji mu palaga, eji plenty money for my shokoto. Emana nyiji si palaga, eji palaga. Eji mu palaga, eji plenty money for my shokoto. Anu musalamala, salamala.
His name is Miss Paul. He was in Columbus, Ohio over the weekend, and of course, we hear that performance was a thrilling one. Miss Boy on FX1 Radio, listening there to Salam Bear featuring Pino. Okay. All right. This is Fiesta number 36 coming to you from Apex One Radio. It's exactly 12:00. It's noon here in the studio, and of course, in the next hour, we shall be bidding bye from the studio of Apex One Radio. I actually just listened there to Elynn, Fesse, Basil, the founder of Sun Drop Initiative, whose organization will be organizing a charity dinner at Eta Palace, Monaco Boya this Saturday. Time for me to move back to our studio guest, Mayo Makinde. Once again, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Now, there is something I'm going to ask you now. I'm just being curious. A lot of people think that projects like the one we just talked about with our previous guests, are mostly done in the developing world, that is the third world, that is in Africa precisely. And a lot of people will not imagine that there are needy people in the United States of America and other parts of the Western world. Now, does a problem like this, the kind of problem which you think you can face in your constituency or your own part of Ohio, is it a common problem that you have people who need food, people who need clothing, people who need basic needs?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want anybody to misunderstand the fact that we are in the United States of America, and we seem like the country that it's by the light of a matchstick. We are ready to fly into other countries to go fix other countries. That we don't have the issue of poverty in the United States, in the inner cities of the United States, and even in the rural areas. There's a high level of poverty, and people have cried out loud about the reason why they don't get why we are so much interested in feeding other countries and building other countries, and even in our country we have so much a high level of poverty rate in the United States. We do have a lot of homeless people. One of the things I do is I have a business. And most of the people that I rent out I have a property investment business here in Columbus, and most of the people that I rent out my properties to, or my units to, are people that are homeless. And it's a large group of people that are homeless in Columbus. People that can't get enough food to feed their family. They can't get enough money to feed their family. One of the things in my platform is better jobs, which is the second part of my platform, and it's to bring better jobs into my district. My district is the fourth ranked in poverty rate in the state of Ohio. So it's really serious, and people will not assume that. People outside this country, because we are the beacon on top of the hill. We are that country where everybody wants to be at, the land of opportunity and so much more. However, there's not that much opportunity and not that much access to government and good jobs in this country. And the state of Ohio is one of them. So that's one of the reasons why I'm running. I'm running for that mom that has to work 2 jobs to feed her family. I'm running for the brothers and sisters who don't believe in government no more, because they believe that the politicians are just playing with their minds, and all they do is get elected and they don't do nothing. I'm running for the community leaders that that want to speak out for their communities, but they feel like they have to go down there and beg in the city halls and the state house, and they feel like they can't, their voices are not being heard. So those are the people I'm running for. I'm running for people that can't fight for themselves. They feel like they're overwhelmed by the struggles of society and their jobs and everything. But yeah, we deal with all those issues here. The only thing that makes it look better is we have an industry, a movie industry, entertainment industry, that outshines anybody else. So when they look at our movies and they see all these glamorous things, people assume that those challenges do not face us over here, but it does,
Right.
overwhelmingly. So
Now, I was going to ask this question, but I'm a little bit hesitant. But I think I should go ahead and ask.
Go ahead.
What is the major thing you intend to introduce to benefit your people, politically speaking? I know, like you said earlier on, you need to listen to the people before you take their problems to the house. But then, personally, and someone who has a mastery of local politics, what do you think you, as a person, as a candidate, can introduce which previous candidates might not have had,
I won't think there's a matter of what previous candidates have not introduced, but what I think that I can introduce and effectively get passed is I'm very passionate about the campaign financing laws. This is the same thing that Bernie Sanders is talking about in his campaign.
Okay.
About how money runs our society, and it should not. The rich is getting richer and the poor are getting poor. And we live in a plutocracy. It shouldn't. If you look at the definition of plutocracy, is when the big money people run everybody else. A minority, which is 1%, run the 99% of the nation because they have more money than everybody else. There's two things that runs this nation. If you read Barack Obama's one of the two books, I think is Audacity of Hope. And he talks about it in the first chapter, and talks about how there's two things that run society and politics: money and people. And the ideal thing that this country is based on is people. We, the people, should run this country. But because of corruption and because of money play in politics, now money runs more than people. Money runs the country more than people do. And those are the kind of things that I want to be part of the people that will change that back to us right direction. So we need to radically change our political system, the way it runs, so they can better serve the people. The people can have a voice more than the people, or the smaller people that have the most money running the majority of people. So, and that's where campaign financing comes in. So I'm looking into helping others reaching across the aisle, because this is an issue that is not only bothers. This is an issue that not only bothers the urban communities in our state, but it also bothers the rural areas in our state. There's a lot of poor people that live in poverty that live in the country, and they could barely, get everything that they want to get done and live a good life, living in the country, and they have similar issues with people in urban areas, but their representatives, it keeps lying to them, making them think that the issue of poverty, if it's fixed, it's only going to help out the people in the urban areas, in the cities and stuff. So America is divided. We divided the urban areas and the rural areas, having different issues, but we can reach across the aisle and talk about these issues and talk about how it can both be mutually beneficial for our communities. Then we can pass laws that can help better our systems.
Right.
But the biggest one I'm passionate about is campaign financing.
Campaign financing. And what would be your biggest economic reform?
Biggest economic reform is just, for the most part, trying to make sure that we increase the minimum wage. It's too low. I mean, $10 is what the Democratic Party is pushing for right now. Some people have talked about $12, and some people have talked about $15. I want to sit across, with economists and people that know all the details about how it can affect the other side of the, because what they're saying is it's going to affect business owners. Really, we're talking about business owners. We're not talking about small businesses. Most of the time are people that have 1, 2, or 3, or 4 staffs. I'm talking about making sure that people like Walmart and them can get taxed. The people that have all the big money, the 1% of the society that has the most money. They should be able to give some to make sure they can help out everybody else, because everybody else is shopping at their stores and they're buying the consumers that they're buying the products who's making them rich and richer every day. So they should be able to find a way that this system can work better for everybody else, as opposed to working for the minority 1% who owns the majority of the money in the country, and who who runs the country. So again, we're moving from the original ideals of this country, which is we the people, moving to with the little people that have the most money, and that's not the right way. So. Yeah. So I mean, when you say economical issue, that's what we want to do. We want to make sure we can better balance the way of life in our society, and also with the economy question, to find better jobs. If the better jobs and better wages you have for people in the society, they're going to spend that money more into the system, make the system better. But if they don't have much, they're going to be careful how they spend it. So the economy is not going to grow well. Because so if they're not spending, then businesses are not getting money to keep their money generating to the country. So I mean, it's just that knowledge and that plan that we have to put out there to make sure it works better for hire.
Right. Let us quickly look at your slogan, which from what I see, it should be A, B, and C. A would stand for access to government. What do you mean by that?
Well, access to government, it means, and I talked about it earlier, people would have lost faith. And there's this apathy for politics, for even for government today. People, you ask people about politics. Some people say I don't vote. Some people say I don't believe in the system. So it's all because they feel like they don't have access to their own government. It's about that whole issue about money and people. Then money has won. Like the last ruling by the former Supreme Court, People versus United, which made. Is given an opportunity to super PACs to be able to put money into campaigns, and pretty much it's pretty much buying campaigns. That's what we're doing. We're buying politicians today. The most people that have the most money can buy politicians and make politicians do whatever they want over the people. And this goes everything. This is everything against what the founding fathers of this nation intended. It's supposed to be for the people. We the people. So now it's we the people with money. That's what that ruling did, and with respect to the Supreme Court justice who just passed away, he was one of the people that pushed for that. So I don't want to say I'm glad he's gone, but I'm just saying I'm glad that I will hope that Barack Obama, President Obama, will be able to replace him with someone who has the mindset that for the people over the money. Because the argument that this justice made was that people and money, people was a citizen. People is like a citizen, just like money. That money is like a citizen, just like people are. And I cannot imagine, somebody making an argument that that money is equivalent to people. So, if people make money, money doesn't make people. You can't spend money enough to buy a baby. You can buy a baby from somebody, but you don't. Money does not produce a life. You can help. Money can help do that in the sense of if you have money, you can help yourself. We still need man to do that. Man has to produce man. Man has to produce. When I say man, I mean human being has to produce human being. Man and woman has to produce a child. So, and we forget about that. That we need to care more about what the people want more than what the people who have money want. So that's where the passion. I have a passion for campaign finance, and obviously it shows clear. And that's one thing that I know I'm aligned with Senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders, running for president of the United States. So, but go ahead.
So, are you insinuating that there are no jobs, no suitable jobs as at now when you say better jobs in your slogan?
Well, I'm not saying there are no jobs. What I'm saying is that in my district, and including the neighborhood that I grew up in, the neighborhood that I live in right now, there are many mothers, single mothers, and some single dads, because people only think single parents means just single mothers. But single, and even though a household that has a mom and dad, and that are working, people are working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. You know what I mean? To make ends meet, they're working 2 and 3 jobs, and we wonder why our kids are on the streets. And the streets is raising our kids, and the media is raising our kids. They're being raised by TV and everything because their mom and dad are often at work, working 2 or 3 jobs to be able to feed their family. The ideal thing that we all grew up with in our minds and background is that after they come back from work and they can have time to raise their children, and they can ask the children, how was your day in school, what are your homework and all that. So what time do they have to do that now? They don't have that time because they have to be chasing jobs, working for 2 or 3 jobs instead of having one good job. So it's the value of jobs that we have in my district that is not good enough. It's not like people don't have jobs, but when you have a McDonald's job that pays you like $8 or so, you have a Walmart job that pays you like maybe $8 or $9 or so, and they're not taking care of you enough, and you have to work 2 of those. In comparison to some people that live in Dublin, they have a job and their job is $21 an hour or $25 an hour. It's not, the level is not balanced. The level and people can say, well, they have a degree or whatever. Well, there are people too. They're doing the job that they're doing is valued too. If you work at McDonald's, I'm feeding that person that works at Dublin when they can't stop to get a good dinner, or so when they stop with their kids to get McDonald's, the person that's working at McDonald's is feeding their kids on the way so they can make it to the next meeting. So it's a job. It's a service. It needs to be recognized and it needs to be paid well. So and that's what the mindset that I'm bringing in, that we need to think about that in society, that everybody needs to get respected to their service in which they provide. So this is very key, that we have to make sure that we balance the playing field.
Okay, your C says commitment to community, and let me find out from you, how committed can one be to their community? In what terms precisely?
Well, that's broken down in so many different ways. The very first one is as a neighborhood organizer and a community activist and advocate that I've been doing. When I walked to City Hall with a group of community organizers like myself and faith-based leaders like myself and children, that we went to City Hall in 2009 to try to reopen rec centers that were closed by City Hall. We had to have it was like a 3 weeks process or so. We had to have the meetings with City Hall. We had to go down there to go, in a way, advocate and protest that the closing of this rec centers. It should not be that. I should have had my representative with me that day. There was no need. There should be no way that kind of situation needs additional. It just should not. It should not have taken us as much as it took us, because this same City Hall, they serve us. This is our number one representative in the city. So if we have something that we're not getting this service and we're going to ask for, I should have had my state representative with me that day as a neighborhood organizer, saying that I'm with this guy in the neighborhood organizer in one of the neighborhoods in my district. I'm with them. We need this rec center to open up again. That's what I will be. I'll be an advocate with the platform of my office for every civic association, every commission in my district. I'll be there for them when they fight for what's right for the community, and I'll make sure I'm the one making that call to city councilmen and women to say, get them what they want. They pay you to do that. They hired you to do that. It is your job, and if you mistakenly by any chance don't listen to them, I would help them out when they vote you out of office, because what people don't understand most of the time is that we hired these people to work for us. I'm asking people to hire me as I'm running for this office to work for them. Everybody is representing you. You should not look up to them and like, oh, they're this great. Well, they are great people because they're doing the service they're doing, but we should not look up to them like this celebrity and we're always excited to be around them and all that. It's okay because of course we voted them as our leader.
Right.
However, we should also understand, as much as we voted them to be our leader, we voted them to be our employee. So they're working for us. So so if for me to come ask my employees to please take care of my streets or make sure they can put a street light on my street, or maybe don't shut down the rec centers in my neighborhood, because that's all the kids in my neighborhood have, I should not even have to ask for that. When I went to ask for City Hall to open this rec centers, 71% of our resources in the city of Columbus, of our revenue, was going to public safety. That's police and fire. 71%, and less than 1% or less was going to recreation. Recreation is on the preventive end. It prevents kids from being in trouble, so that you won't have to get the public safety to arrest them and all that later on. That's why I asked the City Hall. I said, why don't we put more money into a place that prevents them instead of putting more money into what locks them up? Which is, you got 71% going into public safety, right, and you got less than 1% going into preventive measures. So those are the kind of ideologies that I say that affects us and what we're doing. Don't get me wrong, we need as much funding as we can for public safety, but we got to be able to balance the level of playing field so that we don't set up our communities and our young kids in our community to be locked up, right, and in the system. But and the second part of that is that this community being the most diverse community in the state of Ohio, I'm going to be the representative for all those different communities. I'm talking about the Nigerian American, the Cameroonian American, the Somali American. Any American. I mean, any American, all Americans that live in my district, I'm representing them, and I will be there standing by their side to make sure that everybody's represented.
And how accessible are you to this constituency? Just how much do you interact with the people?
I've been there all my outside the time that I spent in Nigeria as a child in middle school, and coming back away in high school, and outside going to college in Kentucky, Western Kentucky. I've been here all my life. I was born in this district. I was born in this city, and right around this district.
Right.
I was raised in this district, and I came back from school, came to this district. I've been working in this district. I own businesses in this district. I live in this district, like I said before, and I continue to plan to be in this district. And I'm very accessible. Most people that know me know my personal cell phone number.
Now, you just made mention of a number of things you intend to change when you come in office. Now, I understand that it's easy to speak from outside when you're not in office yet. How feasible do you think this can work?
Well, I mean, I've been mentored. First of all, I've been mentored by the current representative in the district, Kevin L. Boyce, and he's supporting me on my race. He's pushing me in my race, backing me in my race. I've watched him work and worked with him as a matter of fact, I was in charge of the New American Initiative for his office, which I plan to continue. And also, I've been his community liaison. So anytime the community organizations, community leaders wanted to talk to him, and he couldn't show up at those meetings, I was the one going up to showing up in those meetings and making sure that their needs was met. So when you ask how would it be, I've followed and shadowed the best person I could follow and shadow. I know that it's not all going to be easy, but you can count on me that I'll fight I'll fight like this. The soldiers fighting the battles in the war. That's how hard I will fight to make sure that anything that this community wants done, and it's by the Constitution of Ohio and by the Constitution of the United States, that I will fight for them at it.
Now, tell me, what are some of the challenges you face so far in this venture?
Some of the challenges I faced are just some of the natural, and I would probably choose not to speak too much into some of those, but I will tell you it's the natural behaviors of man. When I say man, I want people to know that I'm talking about man or woman, the creation of human beings, natural behavior of human beings. Some human beings cannot help it, but like the xenophobia and the idea of the fact that I'm a son of a new American or of new Americans. Some people are still fighting with those challenges of being able to be accepting of who I am, and the struggle of me being someone that has a speech impediment, and someone that has somewhat of an accent. Those are the things that people have taken upon themselves to feel like, they don't know if they want to support for that, just for that reason. And I've always made people to be clear of it, that everything I've done in Columbus, Ohio, which I have a good record of achievement, being able to achieve success at solving people's problems. When I was solving those problems, nobody questioned all those things they're questioning. But I'm asking to move on to the next level to help people so we can get out of the struggle that we're in. And now I'm getting some people asking those questions. So those and also challenges is the fact that if to win races in America today, you need money, and that's what the campaign financing I'm talking about. You need money, so to raise money is a challenge, and that's how people can help. I want help from the average everyday people, not from the big super donors, because and I don't mind that to get money from big super donors, but I just know that they're often probably not going to send money my way because they know that I'm fighting for the average everyday people. So that's what if anybody that wants to donate, they can donate on my website. They can help out and be part of this movement. It's a movement. It's not about me. It's about what I'm trying to do. It's just like Bernie Sanders is a movement. He got $27 average money that he was getting donations wise, and his opponent was getting like a big super PAC organizations giving her a whole lot of money. So again, I have a everyday's man's mentality and everyday's man's campaign. And if you the everyday's man that I'm fighting for, I would appreciate it if you can support our campaign by donating to our campaign. You have to be a U.S. citizen, though. So you have to be someone who's U.S. citizen, and and donate to that campaign. We would appreciate it because every money that we get, we can use that to put ads on radio and TV or even whatever we can. Get the word out there, because I really know the only thing that is holding me back in this race is campaign money, and which is, again, money should not hold. I have, if I was stood up, if they stand me next to the rest of my opponents, and we all had to speak to every voter in this district, it is beyond no doubt in my mind that I would get 90% of the votes, because I have most of the record and background and plan to make this district better. Is without no doubt that I have that.
Let me use this opportunity to find out this from you. That could also educate a lot of people who are interested in American politics. Is there no allocation of the state budget for financing election campaign?
No, and that's what I'm saying. You're talking about the very radical change that I think we might be going towards, or which I will support. To have public financing for campaign financing, and opposed to individuals who have money and they just want to control politics. The question would not be how much do you want to allocate towards financing campaigns. When we have struggle with our schools being funded, struggles with our law enforcement being funded. So we just have to sit down and we look at our budget again, look at our priorities, and be able to figure out what we want to do. But I really believe everything starts with campaign financing, because these people that we put in office, they're not doing anything. They keep coming in there because they have big donors that they're funding campaigns, and they would only do what the donors want over what the people want. So until we change that campaign financing kind of style, where everybody gets a certain kind of amount and just have to give and everybody gets a certain kind of amount of money to put out their message out there, then it's more fair. But right now it's not fair at all, because the only person that gets to win most of the time is who has the most money, and which is who's catering to rich people. So.
Okay, so talking about your campaign, for how long have you been on the field now?
Well, I mean, unfortunately for everybody in this race, we started this race on December 15th.
Okay.
And that's when everybody filed. And normally the race would be, the election would be May, but because of a presidential election year, every presidential election year, they always take 2 months out of the election. So now it's March 15th. Okay. The primary is March 15th. And people need to understand my district is one district that's different than other districts. It's an 83% Democratic district. So because of that, 83% of people in the district vote Democrat. Everybody's fighting for the Democratic nomination in the primary. They know that once you get that, it's easier to win the general election, because you have, again, the district is 83% of people that live in the district are Democrats.
Okay.
So you know that in the general election you don't have that much of a contentious situation. You have somebody running against you, but most of the time they're not going to win. It's not in 30 years or more has a Republican ever won in this district. So everybody's trying to fight for this Democratic nomination in March 15. They know that once you get it, it's easier to win in November. So if everybody wants to help out at this time, they need to help out before this election. This primary election is the main election in this race. Right. Opposed to other elections where you have to worry about primary and worry about general election, this district has an ideal situation and a unique situation where it's all about the primary. So that's pretty much what the timeline of December 15th. Now we had 90 days to convince voters and get voters to vote for us.
Okay. Now, you've been on the field for something like 9 weeks. What have the people been saying? What is the feedback from the population?
Oh, I've been getting positive feedback. That's why I'm so confident and so excited about this opportunity, because when I did the first time, I was more of an underdog. In my race, I was more of an underdog in my race. And this time around, with the support of my mentor and all the elected officials who have known the work that I've been doing in the community, and who knows the merit that I have over my opponents, I have a lot of endorsements from, like Kevin Boyce, who's the current city holder, Ed Leonard, who's the county treasurer. I have city council members, Stinziano, and like actually three other city council, 4 out of 7 city council members that have endorsed me. School board members who have endorsed me. The chairman of the Democratic Party, who was my first initial mentor, he's personally endorsed me. So so those are people that have supported me for this race, and I didn't have none of that in 2008. So. And when I go in the community, people know me very well. They know the work I've done. So I'm getting a lot of positive vibe. A lot of people are excited, but again, the money factor is in there. And if any of my opponents who might not have good enough merit, if they get much money to be able to drown that noise out, people sometimes they go on election day and whatever name that they hear the most, without even thinking to who's the better candidate, whatever name they hear the most is what they vote for.
A lot of political education and information here in the studio of Apex One Radio. His name is Mayo Makinde. He is the candidate for the state representative of the 25th district in Ohio. You're listening to African Fiesta. We are going to Yaoundé, where our permanent correspondent Valerie Dulafé is on standby, and he will be telling us more about this Saturday's Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. Don't go away. This is Apex One Radio. This is Fiesta number 36. Titled Ndolo is by Daphne. You're listening to Fiesta number 36. Like I said, all roads lead to Boya this Saturday, where the 2016 Mount Cameroon Race of Hope takes place, and everyone will be climbing up the mountain. Valerie Dulafé is our permanent correspondent in Cameroon, and he will be traveling to Boya as well for that event. But before Valerie goes to the headquarters of the Southwest region of Cameroon, he has this prelude to that event. Valerie Dulafé, welcome to the show.
Hello, Ernest. Hello, listeners of Apex One Radio. Welcome to the political capital of Cameroon, that is Yaoundé. It is a blessed feeling that I have today after the event we had on Saturday. So we arrived in Yaoundé, that was on Monday, and I'm very, very happy to be with you today. It is a beautiful evening here in Yaoundé with so much lights and wind blowing after the scorching sun that just characterized the period of the day. So I'm very happy to welcome you to Yaoundé. That is the land of the President of the Republic of Cameroon, President Paul Biya, and that of the Ministry of Culture, which we are very proud to represent here today. So welcome to Cameroon. Welcome to the Central Region.
Yes, Valerie Doulafé, and talking about Cameroon, all roads will lead to Boya this weekend for the International Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. And I would imagine that a lot of people will be moving from the political capital to the Southwest Regional Headquarters. And one of those Cameroonians who will be witnessing that event live will be you. But then before you go to Boya, Valerie, could you just tell our listeners more about this annual event?
Of course, Ernest Kanjo, it is a traditional mythic event that is going to be taking place. That is on, we say Friday. Everything starts on Friday, right up to Sunday. It is going to be 3 days of intense activity. And we are very proud, like Apex One Radio, as the other media, to participate in these very mythic events that regroups over 495 athletes, and it's Kanjo. I emphasize on the number. We have 495 international as well as national athletes coming all the way from abroad and Cameroon. It should be noted we have as countries, participating countries, Kenya, Japan, and so many people coming from Switzerland. Those were just some of the countries who are going to be taking place in today's or in this Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. It is worth noting that this is an annual event that pulls crowds out to Boya, and Boya, should be noted, is in the southwest region of Cameroon. So Boya is going to be vibrating to the rhythm of athleticism. When I talk about athleticism, I mean the race. 495 athletes will be trying to challenge the gods, the chariots of gods. This was noting in this year's, that is 21st edition of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. And it should be noted also, Ernest Kanjo, that according to reports we are getting from the Federation of Athleticism here in Cameroon, situated in Yaoundé, everything has been put in place to ensure the safety of these athletes, the safety of those who are coming to watch these various matches, the safety of journalists accredited. I want to use the French word, accrédité. Those who are authorized to actually cover up the event. The security has been ensured because, going up the mountain of Cameroon is not that easy. It entails so many things. Athletes have been preparing so much for months now. And we are talking about very much prizes here. So for you to go up the mountain and come back, it entails physical, it entails moral, and it entails spiritual preparation. So many athletes that we got in the corridors actually revealed to us that it takes these three aspects: spiritual, it should be noted, mental, and physical. They have been undergoing these three aspects so as to prepare themselves for the upcoming event that is going to be starting on the 25th of February 2016. And then I'm going to take you to a brief history. We are going to be having so much various categories in this year's competition because, the veterans are going to be running alongside the younger ones. And when we talk about the veterans, we talk about Mama Salah, who has been the winner, so much, who has been a winner of so many races. And we have scoops that she can be there in this year's Cameroon Race of Hope. We are still waiting for the confirmation of that information, and we are going to be confirming to you immediately when we arrive Boya. Alongside her, there are going to be so many like young spirit and blooded Cameroonians who want to participate and make themselves known in this year's Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. And Ernest Kanjo, when we talk about Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, it can change somebody's life. I talked about Sarah just recently. It is worth noting that the government of Cameroon decided to build her a home and not counting the prizes that she has won. Because when we talk about winning, it's all about money. More than 1 million francs CFA, like more than. That means you can go above 10 million francs CFA. So those are the sum that many people are actually trying to get into their pockets. So they have been preparing physically, psychologically, and mentally so as to make themselves felt, so as to change their lives. It's a life-changing experience for these athletes. Those were the points for the athletes. Now, for those people who want us to experience the beautiful landscape of the southwest region of Cameroon, remember, southwest is known for its beautiful landscape when it comes to fish, when it comes to what we call here in Cameroon slow boys, that is snails. So for those people who want to come there and discover the rich culture that the southwest region has to offer, it is a place for you. Slow boys, that is snails, and fish, beautifully roasted along the borders, along the seashores, and along where these people are going to be competing is going to be come and see, as we say here in Cameroon. So it is going to be like a crowd pulling event where people will be coming there, not only for the race, but also to discover the rich tradition that the Southwest region has to offer. So that is like, it's going to be an economic activity kind of activity. And many people will have the opportunity to make brisk business during this time. So it's going to be not only sports, it's not going to be only tourism, it's not going to be only leisure, it's not only going to be the discovery of culture, it's also going to be an arena where Cameroonians can come and say, we are proud to become Cameroonians. We are proud that a nation such as this one can organize an event where international bodies, be it from all the 10 regions of Cameroon, as well as the Asians, as well as the European countries, and as well as the African countries, can come and compete. Who is the best runner so far? Who can resist going up the mountain and coming back? For those of you who have never been to Cameroon, those of you who have never been to Boya, I beg you, and I challenge you, come to the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, and you will see that Cameroon has a lot to offer.
Come to the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, and you will discover that Cameroon has so much to offer. Valerie, we want to thank you so much. Do catch your breath, get yourself prepared to hit the road for Boya, because this weekend it will be a great event out there. Thank you so much, Valerie, and thanks for being part of the show today.
Yes, I'm giving you a rendezvous for the next few hours because we're going to be hosting you from Boya. That is from Friday, and we're going to be giving you the exclusive reports of what is actually going or taking place at that particular part of the country. Right. Remember, just stay blessed, remain Africa, and remain proudly Cameroonian. Thank you, Ernest, and God bless you from this end.
God bless you too, Valerie Dulafe. Thank you so much for that beautiful report out there from Cameroon, precisely from the nation's capital. And so, Mayo, this is the highest mountain in West and Central Africa. That is Mount Cameroon. And every year you have thousands of international athletes who come to Boya for the annual race, dubbed Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, and of course it's usually a very big event. In fact, the whole of Cameroon is mobilized for this event every year. I just want to take the pretext from this event to find out from you, how can sports develop your community? Are you interested in sports as well as a community leader?
Right. You have to you have to remember that I'm a former athlete, college athlete, so I have a lot of love for athletics still. Okay. And I think that athletics does a lot in our community. I talked about Jim Brown earlier. Through his work as a great football player, one of the greatest football players to have in America in history, and Cleveland Brown, he used his platform to fight for a lot, including people like Jesse Owens and who fought through struggles and. So again, a lot of athletes in our time have done a lot with their platform, and used that to fight for others. So, and with that being said, Cameroon, which is a bordering country to Nigeria, I've always been interested in someday being able to visit all the countries in Africa. That's one of my life goals. Like the bucket list or so, right. And also to visit all the continents around the globe. Because that's the mindset that we should all have. The globe is a playground that the Creator has created for us. So I love the idea of being able to get out there. The issue for me is I'm thinking about my district again. How many people can actually afford to travel out there? I would love if the federal government has programs that would help youth travel to other countries and bring them back safely, of course. But make sure they can experience something bigger than what they are. Because the biggest education you can have in life is what you see. Because you instantly evolve. Your mind evolves past what you know. And a lot of my neighborhood. A lot of children in my neighborhood have never been outside the neighborhood that they live in. I grew up on Fifth Ave, and I know that a lot of them, all they talk about is Fifth Ave. They've not been outside the neighborhood. They've not been outside the city of Columbus, nor the state of Ohio. And we have so many beautiful lands in this United States of America itself. These United States have enough to even open up their mind, and they've not been outside Columbus most of the time. And so you can imagine when you go outside this country and see a place like Cameroon, and see that mountain, the Cameroon you're talking about, that just blows people's minds, and it lets them know how much what we can do. It teaches us it teaches and shows us what our potential is as human beings. Our potential is so potent. No human being in life, because I do a program where I talk to youth too. I remind them with this, that no human being in life will ever reach their full potential, because nobody can ever. It's so potent, none of us can. But the thing that we should want to do every day when we wake up is try to reach towards that potential, and that's what I suddenly try to do. But I try to remind young children what they should be doing. That's what they should reach towards, the potential, and they can only see that potential when they travel out and see something better than what they've been raised, the community they've been raised in, to see that it's bigger than me, it's bigger than you, it's bigger than my family. It's all of us around this globe. We're so many of us with different backgrounds, and one thing, like I said, the one most universal language that we can have is love.
Right.
So nothing is bigger than that. Love for kind.
Nothing is bigger than love. The one most universal language you can have is love. So I'm going to round off with you, Makinde. Just 3 last questions, which you're going to be brief. First, you are going to tell us about your campaign calendar. How does it look like from here?
Right. Well, today, as I live here, and I'm going to a program called. Actually, it's almost at the end of it, so I got to make sure I make it out there. African American Legislative Day. When I worked for the Black Caucus, I used to be part of the organizers for that event. I worked as a staff for them, but it's the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus that's doing that event, honoring great leaders in African American history, because we're in Black History Month, which it should be 365 days a year, but the argument is a whole different argument. After that, I have a couple interviews. Then on Thursday, which is tomorrow, I have a fundraiser at a place called Diva Dan.
Okay.
The owner of the club is throwing a fundraiser for me. It's a wine tasting. It's free to the public. A singer in Columbus who's very popular, a native of Columbus, Jimmy McGee, is going to play all night. And he said to me, Mayo, I know the work you've done in the community, anything for you. Same thing as the owner of the restaurant said to me, anything for you. So it's been opened up to the public tomorrow. Then on Thursday too, which is tomorrow, at some point I'll be making a big announcement and it's about the presidential election going on.
Right.
It's going to be a good event. I believe that you should pay attention to the news later on tomorrow night, because there's going to be media over there. With that being said. On Saturday, I have another speaking engagement on campus. Then from there, we have 20 days or so towards the election. March 15th is coming up like we've never ever known it. So I have events coming up, and they'll be on my website. I'll be sharing on my Facebook page. I'm very active on Facebook. So yeah, please just, if you listening today and you don't know how to reach out to me, just get my first name is Mayo, M-A-Y-O, last name is M-A-K-I-N-D-E. You can type that on Facebook. I'm the only one with that name on Facebook. I've tried to check it out. So it's M-A-Y-O, M-A-K-I-N-D-E. And add me as a friend. I'm your friend that you've not known already, that you've never met. But as soon as you add me, now we're friends. That's the idea I have about life. As long as you have love in your heart for human beings and wanting to work on making the society better, you are my friend. So definitely. Let's work on this revolution together to help everybody better the society that we live in. That's the idea that I live by. So definitely that's my calendar. I know you have other questions about.
Yes, just one brief question, then we take the last one and we are gone. The second question is this. How do you want to be remembered? Let's say you've won, you've been in office. What legacy do you think you would want to leave behind?
Well, it's just a man who came here to serve others, and opposed to waiting for others to serve him. And it's a quote that came from Matthew's I think 27, 28. But it's one of my favorite quotes in the Bible, and it talks about if you want to be be the man who comes to serving and opposed to being served by others. It's talking about the Christ, of course. But that's what I've lived by all my life, and I just feel like service is just what life is about. If I reach out my hand to help others, and if we all are like that in our minds, at some point the hand is going to come back around to me. So, and if we can all live around like that kind of idea, we'll be all right. And it's not in the sense that me reaching out to serve others that I can't take care of myself, and I'm waiting for somebody to serve me. It's just the fact that, again, we are all here made by the Creator to help each other out. And if we can all do what we're supposed to do and do right, treat our neighbors like we want to be treated, at some point it comes back to us if we all do it. If we like Michael Jackson said, "Man in the mirror, start with yourself." So I just want to start with myself and try to see how I can help others in my society develop and be great. And that's what the legacy I want to be known as, is the guy that he would not take any back step to being the first server to his neighbor.
So lastly, who is eligible to vote, and when do voters go to the polls?
Well, anybody who lives in the district is eligible to vote, but mostly if you are in the primary, you have to be registered a Democrat or an independent to vote. Actually, you don't have to be registered like that. If on that day, you will be asked if you want a Democratic ballot or a Republican ballot. Okay. And you have to ask for a Democratic ballot, because I'm running as a Democratic nominee. And everybody's trying to run as that nominee because, again, it's an 83% Democratic district. So everybody knows whoever wins has a very good chance in November to win. So the biggest part of my election is March 15th. Everybody needs to get out to vote. Understand that we've never had two things we've not had. One, we've never had in the State House someone who's a son of African immigrant in the State House. Never had that in the State House. And also it's been a while since we had a neighborhood organizer or a neighborhood advocate in the State House. It's been a long time, like in the sense of 20 years or so, since we have anybody in, not in the State House, but in the city of Columbus, serving the city of Columbus, in the city house, city hall, State House, or school board. It's been a while. And all we keep having most of the time is people that are more, it's the established people, so when I say established, I mean they're part of the establishment, people that know, and each other in the connection of, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I am part of the Democratic Party, but the only thing is that I also have that community background. And I know we've not had most people that have that community background in there. So that is something, anybody that lives in the district can vote. They have to ask for the Democratic ballot. And that's how they can vote.
Thank you so much, Mayo Makinde. It was a pleasure having you. More pleased with the political education. I had a lot of things which I didn't understand, but then you've clarified me on those. Thank you so much. And is your kind of election the one that gives room for public debates, public or televised debates?
Yes, we have a couple of debates coming up. And one on the radio show this coming Saturday. Then I also have one next week somewhere in the community. They will all be on my Facebook so people can attend. I would love for people to attend. It'll be a good time. And if anybody wants to help, I'll leave this lastly to say that you can go on my website and hit the donate button. If it's $5, $10, we'll take anything you have, because, again, I'm campaigning for the people. I'm all about the people, not anything else but the people who live in the district. Everyday people is who I'm campaigning and working for. So you can go on mayomakinde.com, www.mayomakinde.com. And in the right corner of the page, you will see the donate button. You can donate right there, and again, $5, $10, whatever you have, we will take it, and it will help us. You will be part of this movement. You have to be a U.S. citizen, though, and I don't know how you want. You have to be a U.S. citizen, or whoever is donating the money has to be a U.S. citizen. It has to be. So I'll leave it as that, to make sure that money gets to us, so we can help this movement go on. So with that being said, I thank everybody. And my Facebook is the same, Mayo Makinde.
Okay, you got it from the horse's own mouth. His name is Mayo Makinde. He is the candidate for the state representative of the 25th district in Ohio. Thank you once again for coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and you're a great friend. You're someone, a good colleague from working from where we met each other at, working in radio. And I love what you come to do with your own. Here you have something great, and keep it going. I'll support in every kind of ways I can. Like I'll support every other people that I know is doing something for the right reasons. So keep up the great work you're doing yourself. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayo Makinde, and wish you all the best. This is Apex One Radio's African Fiesta. We shall be running off in a couple of minutes. African Fiesta number 36, running off from Apex One Radio. We are broadcasting from Columbus, Ohio, United States of America. Ajong, just before we go away, I see you were spellbound there. How did you find our studio guests?
So many things today. Like, when I say so many things, I just learned a lot today concerning Ohio, mostly to Columbus. I didn't know about District 25 till today. So that is some interesting stuff right there. And for him, he's pretty young to be running for mayor, which is a good thing. We need younger people too in in politics too. So let him keep doing his thing.
Right.
More people go out there and vote for him. His name is Mayo Makinde, so please go out and vote for him.
Okay, that is how we run off today's edition of African Fiesta. It was a very, very hectic one, of course, and thank God it came to an end, a glorious one, of course. It was a successful edition.
Yes.
And so that is how we put a full stop to this 36th episode of African Fiesta that came to you this day, February the 24th, 2016. It was a very big and dynamic team that kept you company. There was Akosia, Central African correspondent Yaoundé, Cameroon, Valérie Dulafe, Central African correspondent Douala, Cameroon, Ifana Kwalar Ain, Tabifo King, South Africa correspondent Johannesburg, Solomon Atta, Belgium correspondent Antwerp, Titus Banyo, Crystal Beauty for African Tele Review, Maxel Adzik for African Music Time. We had collaboration from Gracie Boise, to whom we say condolences for your loss. God is in control, take heart. There was Karista Asong. There was Christine Asiedu, Rita Obensin, resource person number 1, Ken Shalimone, resource person number 2, Suleiman Koyate, resource person number 3, Matthew Ayong, content critique, The White Bokori, moral support, Tekla Abang, Daba Enes, Aminata Lovetta Fongod. And this show was produced from Val, Switzerland by Maxel Adik. In the studio were two of us.
And me, Ajong Asangame.
And of course, Enes Kanjo asking you to join us again this Wednesday for yet another edition of African Fiesta. Until we meet on Wednesday, it is bye-bye, ciao. River Mexi, we are gone. See you. And just to inform you that on Saturday we'll be having a live broadcast of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. In fact, we begin live broadcasts for that race from Friday. And we are going to have another special live broadcast on Saturday that will be the charity dinner from Eta Palace and the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. So it's going to be a very busy weekend on Apex One Radio. Well, let's have it on. And of course, like I said, we bring you nothing but the best. So let's have a very fantastic weekend on Apex One Radio. See you then. To God
be the glory.
Bye for now.
Bye.
This is the moment of life, a moment we've been waiting for. They don't know, oh they don't know. Lion roll, the lion roll,
shaitan ubanki fake uyo wiyakir gansi yeni ya wafir nsosi kuoni wongi sidori asa gaijim se wanteri yibe ya garf from kesin
Vale.